Subscribe for more amazing novel audiobooks. Don't forget to like, comment, and share Infinite Novel Audio Chapter 26. Blue-Silver Blessing under Lu Chen's full control. His blue-silver grass martial soul, having absorbed 4 spirit rings and undergone 4 evolutions, displayed extremely powerful resilience. Thick branches, like serpents and pythons, tightly bound the demon spirit tree, suppressing it into a state of extreme weakness with the purifying power of blue-silver baptism. Seizing this opportunity, Lu Chen unleashed his self-created spirit ability, Burst Step, arriving in front of it in a few leaps. He raised his right hand, clenched it into a fist, erupted with all his strength, and smashed it toward the demon spirit tree. Cannon Fist. Thick spirit power was channeled to his fist. After being highly compressed, it radiated an imposing aura. As Lu Chen slammed his fist into the demon spirit tree, a terrifying energy shockwave swept out, leaving a deep punch mark directly on the trunk. Not only that, the energy shockwave penetrated into the interior of the demon spirit tree, wreaking havoc inside its body. The trunk trembled violently, emitting a creaking sound, sounding quite overwhelmed. What a demon spirit tree. Since one punch can't break you, then I'll hit you 10 times, 100 times, until I break you. Lu Chen's eyes were bright. As his words fell, he attacked left and right, smashing punch after punch toward the demon spirit tree's trunk. Bang, 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 bang. The dull thuds of his fists hitting the trunk were almost incessant. Even though Lu Chen's fists became a bloody mess, and his finger bones and hand bones began to develop fine cracks due to the recoil force, the feeling of pain rushed straight to his crown. Although he tried his best to suppress it, the corners of his eyes still twitched from time to time, showing that physical pain is not so easy to suppress. Even so, Lu Chen continued to throw punches, his movements never stopping for a moment. Pain kept his brain clear. Hatred filled him with motivation. This demon spirit tree was doomed today. It must become his 5th spirit ring. No one could stop him. Crack, boom, Lu Chen didn't count whether he had thrown dozens or hundreds of punches. But under his relentless attacks, the demon spirit tree finally became overwhelmed. The trunk snapped with a crack and fell to the ground with a boom. This 25,000-year-old demon spirit tree had already been weakened by the suppression of blue-silver baptism, and now that its trunk had snapped, it breathed its last. Whoosh, 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 a surging, vast black light was released from the demon spirit tree's trunk. That eerie, evil energy made the air become viscous. The energy fluctuations it emitted made one feel oppressed. As the black light transformed several times, it finally condensed into a black spirit ring. Seeing this, Lu Chen finally let out a sigh of relief. Hard work pays off. He had finally killed the demon spirit tree, even though the fists of his left and right hands had become a bloody mess, and his finger bones and hand bones had developed fine cracks due to the recoil force. Fortunately, it was all worth it. First spirit ability, Blue-Silver Recovery. Second spirit ability, Blue-Silver Grace. As Lu Chen successively unleashed his first and second spirit abilities, the blue-silver grass surrounding him swayed gently, releasing waves of blue light mist. Bathing in that blue light mist, his cracked finger bones and hand bones began to heal rapidly, and his bloody, mangled fists began to scab over and recover quickly. At the same time, the fatigue of his mind and body was greatly relieved under the soothing of blue-silver grace, gradually returning to its peak state. That cool, refreshing feeling washed over him, finally suppressing the burning pain. Lu Chen chuckled and said, "The spirit beast I chose is truly excellent. Whether it's blue-silver recovery or blue-silver grace, they are both quite practical abilities. I hope this demon spirit tree won't disappoint me either, and will bring me a skill that meets my expectations." Having gradually recovered, Lu Chen prepared to absorb his 5th spirit ring. However, before that, Lu Chen first dug a pit in the ground. It became more disgusting the more he dug. He saw that underground, there were layers upon layers of unknown numbers of spirit beast remains piled up. As Lu Chen dug, these spirit beast remains were all exposed, and the foul stench almost hit him in the face. Lu Chen frowned the entire time he was digging, Although it looked disgusting, it was for the sake of safety. Chen had no other choice. He jumped into the deep pit, sat down cross-legged, then raised his hand and grabbed upward, controlling the branches of his blue-silver grass to extend outward. They tightly wrapped around the demon spirit tree's body, dragging the trunk to completely block off the large pit. All of this was for safety, to avoid being disturbed by any spirit beasts that might suddenly run out while he was absorbing the spirit ring. After making full preparations, Chen closed his eyes, operated his meditation method, communicated with his blue-silver grass martial soul, and began to absorb this 25,000-year-old demon spirit tree spirit ring. In the next instant, that spirit ring floated down, set itself upon his blue-silver grass martial soul, and quickly shrank, merging into the spirit, evil, oppressive, bloody, filthy. Chen frowned. The feeling this spirit ring gave him could be said to be very bad. He had never had this feeling before when absorbing spirit rings, but there was no turning back now. Chen had no choice but to mobilize his own spirit power and began to suppress the demon spirit tree's spirit ring with all his might. And using the powerful tolerance of his blue-silver grass martial soul, he worked to dissolve and neutralize the evil of the demon spirit tree spirit ring. Fortunately, he already had experience absorbing 10,000-year spirit rings. Although absorbing this 25,000-year-old demon spirit tree spirit ring made him feel significant pressure, the absorption process was still relatively smooth. Eventually, relying on the powerful tolerance of the blue-silver grass, he gradually expelled the evil nature of the demon spirit tree spirit ring and began to absorb the massive spirit power contained within the spirit ring, as well as the origin of the spirit beast that contained the breath of life. Everything was proceeding in an orderly manner. The counterattack launched by the demon spirit tree's soul resentment had no effect under Chen's focused mind, and in the end, its soul completely dissipated. After more than an hour of long absorption, this 25,000-year-old demon spirit tree spirit ring finally transformed into Chen's fifth spirit ring. After successfully absorbing the spirit ring, Chen opened his eyes instantly. He controlled the branches of his blue-silver grass to move the demon spirit tree trunk above his head aside, and then leaped out of the large pit. Chen breathed in a mouthful of fresh air and felt a sense of relief from the bottom of his heart. The foul-smelling pit just now had truly disgusted him. If it hadn't been for safety considerations, he would never have hidden in such a place. After relaxing slightly, Chen began to observe his blue-silver grass martial soul. This look was incredible. He saw that his current blue-silver grass martial soul was somewhat translucent throughout. It no longer looked like a plant, but rather like it was carved from jade. Chen was overjoyed. After absorbing 3,000-year spirit rings and 2 10,000-year spirit rings, my blue-silver grass martial soul is definitely no longer ordinary blue-silver grass. Even if it hasn't evolved into the blue-silver king yet, it should be infinitely close to the blue-silver king. It looks okay. After absorbing the demon spirit tree's spirit ring, it didn't make my blue-silver grass evil. It's still as peaceful and calm, exuding a rich breath of life. Now my spirit power has skyrocketed to level 60. I can still absorb a 6th spirit ring. Haha. A 6-ring spirit emperor who is over 9 but under 10 years old. If I told this to anyone, who would believe it? Relying on my golden finger that makes me stronger just by breathing, I am confident that I can become a titled Douluo before the age of 15, and perhaps even become the #1 in the world before the age of 20. As for the god position, with this golden finger of mine, becoming a god is a certainty. As for this 5th spirit ring, it really brought me a good spirit ability, blue-silver blessing. It guides the power of life into the body and can increase all attributes by 100%. Attack, defense, speed, strength, an all-around boost. This can almost double one's strength. It really is worthy of being a 25,000-year spirit ring. It perfectly inherited the demon spirit tree's abilities, yet without being tainted by the demon spirit tree's evil. Very good, I am very satisfied. Chapter 27, Slaughter absorption. Right leg bone. Lu Chen waved his hand and retracted his blue-silver grass martial soul. At the same time, the 5 spirit rings beneath his feet, purple, 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 black, black, vanished into thin air. Lu Chen did not leave immediately. He turned around to look at the remains of the demon spirit tree, having already sensed something while he was absorbing the spirit ring earlier. Within the remains of the demon spirit tree, something still lingered that was echoing with his 5th spirit ring. Lu Chen's expression showed a hint of excitement. Anything that could echo with a spirit ring was most likely a spirit bone. Lu Chen strode over, raised his right hand, and grabbed forward, summoning his 2nd spirit, the black iron sickle. Walking up to the remains of the demon spirit tree, Lu Chen channeled his spirit power into the black iron sickle, causing it to gleam with a chilling, ominous light. Then he swung the black iron sickle, hacking at the remains of the demon spirit tree. Crack, crack, crack. The remains of the demon spirit tree were quite tough. Lu Chen swung the black iron sickle several times in succession before he finally managed to hack a long, narrow gap into its hard body. Through that gap, a blood-red light shone outward. Seeing this, Lu Chen felt his breath hitch. This was indeed a spirit bone. At this moment, Lu Chen was incredibly excited. This was the first time he had ever seen a spirit bone. He reached out his hand and extracted the source of the blood-red light from the gap. It felt ice-cold to the touch, and he could feel a surge of intense energy fluctuations, though it also carried a hint of evil and malevolence. Lu Chen opened his palm to look. It was a blood-red right leg bone, not entirely complete, consisting only of the lower leg portion. This was normal. After all, the demon spirit tree only had a cultivation of 25,000 years. To produce a spirit bone at all was already a pleasant surprise. There was no point in hoping for anything more. The most important thing now was to figure out what abilities this right leg bone possessed. After absorbing his 5th spirit ring, Lu Chen's mental force had been tempered once again. At this moment, he attempted to probe his mental force into the spirit bone, trying to determine its abilities. The moment his mental force entered the right leg bone, a frantic will to slaughter erupted from within the bone, attempting to erode his mind and leave him controlled by the will to slaughter. However, Lu Chen's will was firm, and he successfully resisted it. As his mental force made contact with this will to slaughter, the abilities of this leg bone emerged in his mind. To avoid being eroded by the will to slaughter, once Lu Chen understood the leg bone's abilities, he quickly withdrew his mental force, not daring to make any further contact with that will to slaughter. Phew. Lu Chen exhaled a long breath and steadied himself, then thought with a frown. The skill of this right leg bone is called slaughter absorption. It can devour corpses and flesh to improve the host's physique and enhance the host's cultivation. It is a direct inheritance of the demon spirit tree's ability to devour the corpses and flesh of spirit beasts. It is an incredibly evil ability, and its frantic will to slaughter can also affect the host's will. I don't need this kind of spirit bone. I have my golden finger that makes me stronger just by breathing. There is absolutely no need for me to use slaughter absorption to devour the corpses or flesh of humans or spirit beasts. Although a spirit ring and spirit bone from the same spirit beast can exert the greatest effect on a single person, I don't think I will absorb this slaughter absorption right leg bone. It does me more harm than good, and it could potentially affect my will. Besides, the age is a bit low. It's only a 25,000-year spirit bone. I'll just keep it as a collection. Perhaps it will be useful in the future. With this thought, Lu Chen put the slaughter absorption right leg bone away into his silver bracelet. Having absorbed the spirit ring and put away the spirit bone, Lu Chen took one last look at the remains of the demon spirit tree before turning around and leaving the area, feeling satisfied. Half a month later, somewhere in the mixed zone of the Stardew Great Forest, Lu Chen was hiding behind a tree, utilizing the surrounding patches of blue-silver grass to fully conceal his aura, making himself seem just like another piece of blue-silver grass commonly seen by the roadside. At this moment, he watched quietly as a 30,000-year man-faced demon spider used its spider web restraint skill to capture an 8,000-year ice crystal deer. After being trapped, the ice crystal deer appeared panicked and struggled, but the spider web was coated with the potent venom of the man-faced demon spider. Under the erosion of the potent venom, the ice crystal deer gradually lost its ability to resist, its breath fading as it fell unconscious. Only after the ice crystal deer had fainted did the man-faced demon spider stroll over leisurely and feast heartily, devouring the body of the ice crystal deer. About half an hour later, the entire body of the ice crystal deer had been consumed by the man-faced demon spider. Only a pool of blood remained on the ground. Other than that, not even a scrap of bone was left. Having finished its meal, the man-faced demon spider walked contentedly toward the depths of the forest. Chen communicated with the surrounding blue-silver grass, and after confirming that the man-faced demon spider had truly left, he slowly stepped out from behind the large tree. Chen glanced at the bloodstains on the ground, sighed in his heart about the cruelty of the Stardew Great Forest, and then continued on his way to find a suitable sixth spirit ring for himself. He had been in the Stardew Great Forest for such a long time that he had already witnessed the predation between spirit beasts many times. Thanks to the evolution of his blue-silver grass martial soul, which allowed him to communicate with the multitude of blue-silver grass in the Stardew Great Forest, it had helped him a great deal, whether he was searching for target spirit beasts or hiding his tracks when encountering danger. Otherwise, just now, after the man-faced demon spider finished eating the ice crystal deer, it would certainly have turned around and launched an attack on him. Having long mixed in the mixed zone of the Stardew Great Forest, Chen encountered many 10,000-year spirit beasts every day. Being able to remain safe and sound was all thanks to having the blue-silver grass as his eyes and ears. After leaving this place, guided by the blue-silver grass, Chen ascended a majestic mountain peak. Upon reaching the summit, he saw a huge pine tree growing there. The pine tree was tall and towering, reaching straight into the clouds. Its trunk was winding and vigorous, its branches and leaves lush and dense. A heart-palpitating, vast spirit power, along with an aura of life that brought peace to one's heart, emanated from this pine tree. Chen looked the pine tree up and down, then said with a face full of surprise, "Everlasting spring pine. Haha, my sixth spirit ring has finally been found. According to my estimate, this everlasting spring pine has a cultivation of over 48,000 years, very close to 50,000 years of cultivation. It is perfectly suitable as my sixth spirit ring. The characteristic of the everlasting spring pine is that its life force is extremely tenacious. Within 10,000 years, it can remain ageless and immortal, evergreen for 10,000 years. Every 10,000 years, it will enter a period of decay, with withered yellow branches and leaves and a rotting trunk. But as long as it can survive this period of decay, its body can once again rejuvenate with vitality. Just like rebirth, the everlasting spring pine that has survived the period of decay can quickly restore its vitality, and the life force contained within its body will also undergo a qualitative transformation compared to before. Isn't this exactly what I want? A powerful life force that can recover even in a near-death state. A 48,000-year everlasting spring pine is simply the most suitable sixth spirit ring for me. Chapter 28. 48,000-year everlasting spring pine. Since he had already made the decision to make this everlasting spring pine his sixth spirit ring, Chen acted decisively. Third spirit ability, blue-silver protection. Fifth spirit ability, blue-silver blessing. Chen summoned his blue-silver grass martial soul. Crystal clear and radiating a soft golden halo, the blue-silver grass martial soul, permeated with a rich aura of life, grew and coiled around him. Purple, 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 black, black, 5 soul-stirring spirit rings emerged one after another beneath Chen's feet. In an instant, his third purple spirit ring and his fifth black spirit ring shone with light one after the other. As his blue-silver grass martial soul shone with light, a blue barrier rose around Chen's body, thanks to his third spirit ability, blue-silver protection. With his fifth spirit ability, Blue-Silver Blessing, a rich force of life was released from the blue-silver grass martial soul and poured into Lu Chen's body. Lu Chen immediately felt strength surging endlessly from within his body. His body underwent a massive transformation. His original height of 1.8 meters rapidly grew to 2 meters, and his muscles swelled and bulged, each one filled with explosive power. Lu Chen felt that his condition had never been better. He had never felt so full of power as he did now. This was his fifth spirit ability, Blue-Silver Blessing, which channeled the force of life into his body, increasing all his attributes by 100%, attack, defense, strength, speed. Lu Chen felt that he was now practically a humanoid spirit beast, and the explosive power within him made him feel as if he could do anything. Kill. With a roar, Lu Chen dashed toward the everlasting spring pine like a thunderbolt, his entire body resembling a high-speed tank, carrying an unstoppable momentum as if he could crush any enemy. The everlasting spring pine clearly sensed Lu Chen's aggressive and malicious approach. Its trunk trembled violently and infused with spirit power. Its originally soft, needle-like leaves instantly became as hard as fine steel. Swish, swish, swish under the control of the everlasting spring pine. The pine needles on its body shot through the air like hidden weapons. Because there were so many, they densely covered the entire sky. Seeing this density of attacks, Lu Chen felt his scalp tingle. There was nowhere for him to dodge. Therefore, he could only bite the bullet and charge toward the everlasting spring pine, braving the pine needles that were cutting through the air. Bang, bang, bang. Those pine needles, hard as fine steel, fell like raindrops onto the blue barrier, causing the energy shield to fluctuate violently, almost reaching the verge of shattering instantly. Lu Chen frowned. This 48,000-year everlasting spring pine certainly had some tricks up its sleeve. In a flash, he quickly responded, Blue-Silver Protection. Relying on his profound spirit power, Lu Chen used Blue-Silver Protection 7 times in a row, erecting a total of 7 blue barriers around his body. As the first blue barrier shattered, the dense swarm of pine needles pierced straight toward the second blue barrier, covering the sky and earth. Bang, bang, bang. Under the continuous barrage of pine needle attacks, the second, third, and fourth blue barriers around Lu Chen shattered one after another. However, taking advantage of this time, Lu Chen rushed in front of the everlasting spring pine. He swung his fist, wildly circulating the spirit power within him, which felt as if it were boiling, cannon fist. Lu Chen threw a punch with the force of a thunderbolt, striking heavily onto the trunk of the everlasting spring pine, instantly leaving a deep fist mark on it. A ferocious energy shockwave swept out, penetrating into the interior of the everlasting spring pine's trunk, causing its entire tree body to shake violently, creak. Sounds of being unable to bear the weight came from inside the trunk of the everlasting spring pine, as if something within its trunk had broken. Seeing this, Lu Chen was overjoyed. It was effective. As long as his attacks were effective, he would eventually be able to kill the everlasting spring pine. His eyes narrowed, and he attacked with both hands, punching the trunk of the everlasting spring pine again and again without pause. Boom, boom, boom. Under Lu Chen's heavy blows, the entire trunk of the everlasting spring pine began to bend to one side, showing signs that it was about to break. In this critical moment, the everlasting spring pine changed its strategy. Seeing that the pine needles could not kill Lu Chen, it mobilized its roots. Instantly, the earth trembled, and thick roots broke through the soil, winding toward Lu Chen like serpents and pythons. Lu Chen glanced at them from the corner of his eye, then manipulated the blue-silver grass, extending branches to entangle with those thick roots. One branch of blue-silver grass entangled one root of the everlasting spring pine. If one wasn't enough, then 3 branches of blue-silver grass would entangle one root of the everlasting spring pine. In short, he used the branches of the blue-silver grass to hold tightly onto the roots of the everlasting spring pine, preventing them from affecting him. Lu Chen also became ruthless. Under the effect of blue-silver blessing, his attack, defense, strength, speed all doubled, which gave him the confidence to kill the everlasting spring pine. At this moment, he didn't care whether his body could withstand this power. He recklessly poured all his strength onto the trunk of the everlasting spring pine. A few punches, a dozen punches, dozens of punches, hundreds of punches, several hundred punches. In the end, Chen didn't even know how many punches he had thrown. And the everlasting spring pine in front of him, finally, under Chen's continuous punches, snapped with a crack, completely breaking in half at the waist, and fell to the ground with a boom. A faint, indistinct cry of sorrow slowly drifted into Chen's ears. This everlasting spring pine had finally died at Chen's hands. Whoosh, 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 an incomparably rich black light was released from the trunk of the everlasting spring pine. That energy was terrifying, causing the air to become viscous. After several transformations, it condensed into a deep black spirit ring. This was a 48,000-year spirit beast spirit ring. Looking at this spirit ring, even though he was panting and covered in sweat, Chen laughed heartily. Ha 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 ha. After venting all the joy in his heart. Chen began to treat the injuries on his body. First spirit ability, blue-silver recovery. Second spirit ability, blue-silver grace. Bathed in a blue mist of light, Chen's mental and physical fatigue was greatly alleviated, and his bloodied and mangled fists quickly scabbed over, soon recovering to a pristine state. Chen, who had just been exhausted and had bloodied hands, recovered to his peak state in the blink of an eye. As for the consumed spirit power, Chen could absorb the energy of heaven and earth just by breathing. The speed of his spirit power recovery far exceeded the speed of its consumption. After recovering his body, Chen looked at the black spirit ring with shining eyes. He couldn't wait to absorb it to truly become a six-ring spirit emperor. However, before that, Chen, just like before, vigilantly dug a hole in the ground, then crawled into it, and used the blue-silver grass to drag over a stone to completely block the entrance. After doing all this, Chen finally felt completely at ease. Chapter 29. Blue-silver King Chen circulated his meditation method, communed with his blue-silver grass martial soul, and began to absorb the 48,000-year everlasting spring pine spirit ring. Under his summons, the black spirit ring floated over rapidly, settled onto his blue-silver grass martial soul, and quickly contracted, merging into it. Boom! A massive surge of spirit power filled with the aura of life swept through the blue-silver grass martial soul. Stimulated by this life aura, Chen's blue-silver grass martial soul trembled slightly, beginning its sixth round of evolution. Chen's blue-silver grass martial soul had undergone 5 rounds of evolution so far. This was the 6th round, and also the most intense one. The crystalline blue-silver grass was trembling violently, and a vigorous origin of life was condensing within the blue-silver grass. This was an unprecedented transformation. It caused his originally ordinary blue-silver grass martial soul to emit a trace of kingly majesty. Meanwhile, inside Chen's body, he was undergoing a severe test. The energy contained within this 48,000-year spirit ring was too terrifying. After it fed back into Chen's body, even he had to use all his strength to barely suppress it. The dormant spirit power within his body was completely unleashed this time. His true spirit power had shockingly reached over level 60. In the past, relying on this level 60 spirit power, Chen could easily absorb any spirit ring. But this time, the age of the spirit ring Chen was absorbing was as high as 48,000 years. Even with level 60 spirit power, absorbing it was still quite difficult for Chen. Fortunately, he had repeatedly exceeded his limits to absorb spirit rings in the past, which greatly strengthened his physique, giving him the foundation to absorb this 48,000-year spirit ring. Time passed second by second. Chen's absorption of the spirit ring this time was very slow. Perhaps it also had something to do with the transformation of his blue-silver grass martial soul. This evolution of the blue-silver grass martial soul would definitely be beyond imagination. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, after 3 full hours. At a certain moment, an invisible ripple was suddenly released from Lu Chen's blue-silver grass martial soul. This invisible ripple spread rapidly, centering on Lu Chen and covering several kilometers in all directions. Within this range of several kilometers, all the blue-silver grass were cheering and leaping, and the other plants were filled with awe. They were paying tribute to the birth of a king. This invisible ripple was none other than the blue-silver domain. At that moment, on the mountaintop, with a loud boom, a massive rock was sent flying, and Lu Chen leaped out from the pit he had dug around his body. Stalks of blue-silver grass swirled, crystalline and translucent, emitting a golden halo and suffused with a rich aura of life. And beneath his feet, 6 spirit rings were rhythmically pulsing up and down, purple, 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 black, 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 a truly shocking spirit ring configuration. Lu Chen suddenly said softly, "Retract." The next instant, the invisible ripple centered on him rapidly retracted from all directions, all of it pouring into his martial soul. Lu Chen carefully sensed that power. A domain, this is a blue-silver domain. My blue-silver grass martial soul has actually awakened a blue-silver domain. Is this still blue-silver grass? This must be a blue-silver king. It hasn't been easy. I worked so hard, exceeding the age limits to absorb 6 plant spirit rings, and finally evolved the blue-silver grass into a blue-silver king. A 1,000-year-plus red blood grass. A 4,000-year-plus cloud mist tea tree, an 8,000-year-plus sun-facing flower, a 13,000-year-plus pure heart lotus, a 25,000-year-plus demon spirit tree, a 48,000-year-plus everlasting spring pine. Although Lu Chen had only absorbed 6 spirit rings, the combined age of these 6 spirit rings had just barely reached the level of 100,000 years. An ordinary blue-silver grass martial soul would not necessarily evolve into a blue-silver king just by absorbing 6 spirit rings, but if the age of the absorbed spirit rings reached 100,000 years, it would inevitably evolve into a blue-silver king. Lu Chen's expression became excited. My 6th spirit ability is named Blue-Silver Will. It uses the mind to control the body and is the ultimate manifestation of vitality. As long as the mind has not given up, even if the body is in a near-death state, it can still move and erupt with power beyond imagination. It's very powerful. In other words, as long as I don't want to die, even if I get my head cut off or my heart pierced, I still won't die. Not only can I cling to life, but I can even continue to fight. The first 6 spirit abilities I chose have all met my expectations well. Blue-Silver Recovery restores injuries. Blue-Silver Grace eliminates fatigue. Blue-Silver Protection erects a shield. Blue-Silver Baptism dispels abnormal status effects. Blue-Silver Blessing gives a 100% all-attribute boost. And Blue-Silver will directly locks onto the last drop of blood. For the next, 7th spirit ability, no matter what spirit beast spirit ring I absorb, only one ability will awaken, Blue-Silver Avatar. This is the most important ability for a spirit master. For me, the best choice is the Blue-Silver King of the Blue-Silver Forest. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. Now that my spirit power has been completely unleashed, my spirit power has reached level 69. I am only one step away from level 70 spirit power, and I could break through at almost any moment. But wanting to kill the Blue-Silver King is not that simple. The Blue-Silver King is an 85,000-year-old spirit beast, and its strength is unfathomable. Now that my Blue-Silver Grass martial soul has evolved to the Blue-Silver King level, and I've luckily awakened the Blue-Silver domain, finding the Blue-Silver Forest is actually not difficult, but wanting to kill the Blue-Silver King is exceptionally difficult. Unless I am willing to attach a spirit ring to my 2nd martial soul, or find a helper to help me suppress the Blue-Silver King during the battle. Lu Chen took a deep breath. The Blue-Silver King must be killed. My Blue-Silver Grass martial soul has already evolved to the Blue-Silver King level, but to evolve further and become a true variant Blue-Silver Emperor, absorbing the Blue-Silver King's spirit ring and obtaining its spirit beast origin, and Blue-Silver bloodline might be the most critical link. On the current continent, If there is anyone who can help me suppress the Blue Silver King without making me subject to others, it is only that person. The person Lu Chen was referring to was none other than Dugu Bo, who held the title of Poison. Dugu Bo's strength was not bad. He was a level 91 titled Duluo. This famous unfortunate soul of the Douluo Continent controlled the ice and fire yin-yang well, a garden of immortal herbs, yet could not solve the poison from his own martial soul. As long as Lu Chen wooed him a little, he would be able to gain a powerful helper at the titled Duluo level. Killing the Blue Silver King would then have a 100% chance of success. Thinking of this, Lu Chen frowned again. He looked at the exaggerated spirit ring configuration beneath his feet: purple, 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 black, black, black. These terrifying 6 spirit rings of his could not be easily shown to others once he went to the outside world. Almost in an instant, Lu Chen thought of the camouflage ability of the blue-silver domain. The blue-silver domain awakened just in time. Otherwise, I really wouldn't dare to go out easily with this spirit ring configuration. While speaking, Lu Chen activated the blue-silver domain, and an invisible ripple spread rapidly. Under the camouflage of the domain's power, his 6 spirit rings began to change, from purple, 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 black, black, black to yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, black, a relatively normal spirit ring configuration. Also, I am too young. A 6-ring spirit emperor at such a young age is too eye-catching outside. Since the camouflage ability of the blue-silver domain can disguise spirit rings, it should be able to disguise me as well. Lu Chen immediately began to try. He used the blue-silver domain to shroud his body. Under his attempt, his face immediately began to change. His originally black long hair gradually turned blue, and a head of long blue hair hung behind his head like a waterfall. His young face gradually became covered in a layer of mist, and after the mist dissipated, what was revealed was the face of a strange middle-aged man. As for his height and build, he did not make too many adjustments. The more he adjusted, the easier it was to be exposed. He already had a height of 1.8 meters, a burly build, and a sturdy physique. This was the appearance of an adult. After disguising his spirit rings and completely changing his appearance, Lu Chen smiled and said, "After changing like this, I can go out with peace of mind." Chapter 30. Dugu Bo. Using the newly awakened blue-silver domain, Lu Chen, who had disguised his true appearance, checked the trunk of the everlasting spring pine. After confirming it did not produce a spirit bone, he turned and left with great regret. Half a year had passed since Lu Chen arrived at the Stardew Great Forest. In these 6 months, Lu Chen had undergone earth-shaking changes. From a tiny spirit scholar without a single spirit ring, he had continuously hunted spirit beasts, eventually absorbing 6 spirit rings to become an auxiliary spirit emperor with level 69 spirit power. The change was so great that it was enough to make people dumbfounded. Looking across the entire Douluo Continent, only Lu Chen could achieve the transformation from a spirit scholar to a spirit emperor in half a year. He was currently in the mixed zone of the Stardew Great Forest, a place that was originally teeming with 10,000-year spirit beasts. However, thanks to the blue-silver grass acting as informants, Lu Chen did not encounter any spirit beasts on his way out. It took him 5 days to successfully leave the Stardew Great Forest. Lu Chen stretched, and thinking about the experiences of the past half-year, he felt very emotional. Now, if he were to return to Nodding Academy, suppressing Tang San would be an easy task. However, behind Tang San was Tang Hao, a titled Duluo, and the Clear Sky Duluo who possessed a 100,000-year spirit ring and the title Clear Sky. For now, Lu Chen was still no match for Tang Hao. He was still far from strong enough to take revenge. Lu Chen's eyes turned cold, and he thought with infinite hatred in his heart. Tang Hao, Tang San, you father and son had better cherish your time now. I am already a level 69 spirit emperor, and the day I come to collect my debt from you is not too far away. Thinking of this, Lu Chen resolutely headed north towards the Sunset Forest in the Duluo province. Lu Chen was currently at level 69 spirit power, and he planned to successfully make contact with Dugu Bo before breaking through to level 70 spirit power. Once he broke through to level 70 spirit power, he could invite Dugu Bo to accompany him to hunt the Blue-Silver King. Making contact with Dugu Bo would be too easy. The spirit poison that he and his granddaughter were suffering from was simply the best breakthrough point. Chen had two methods. The first was his fourth spirit ability, Blue-Silver Baptism. This was a spirit ability that could dispel negative statuses, and poisoning was also a negative status. His Blue-Silver Baptism should be effective on Dugu Bo. As long as he could detoxify Dugu Bo, winning him over would be simple. If Blue-Silver Baptism proved useless, Chen had a second method, guiding Dugu Bo to consume the immortal herbs from the ice and fire yin-yang well to achieve detoxification. However, if he did that, his value to Dugu Bo would be greatly diminished, and he would have to put in more effort to win him over. After 3 days of traveling, Chen arrived at a small town called Theo. Originally, he did not want to waste too much time on the road. But looking at his tattered clothes, Chen decided to stay in this small town for a day. He browsed the clothing stores in Theo and bought himself a dozen or so new outfits of various styles. People rely on clothes, just as horses rely on saddles. In the future, when adventuring on the continent, he would still need a few good outfits to keep up appearances. Furthermore, Chen was not short of money now, and he wouldn't be stingy about buying some clothes. The silver bracelet storage soul guidance device he had picked up contained several thousand gold coins scattered inside, as well as 2 black gold coin prepaid cards. According to Chen's estimate, there must be over 100,000 gold coins on the prepaid cards. In the future, when Chen adventured on the continent, he would generally not need to worry about money. In the evening, Chen checked into an inn, asked the attendant for hot water, and had a comfortable hot bath that night, completely washing away the wear and tear of the past half-year. The next day, after a makeover, Chen, now wearing a brand-new blue robe, set off again and headed towards the Sunset Forest. It took half a month for Chen to truly arrive at the Sunset Forest. Walking through the Sunset Forest, Chen released his blue-silver domain. An invisible wave quickly spread out, soon covering a radius of 10 kilometers. Under the shroud of the blue-silver domain, the blue-silver grass in the Sunset Forest suddenly became active. They cheered and jumped, absorbing the life energy of the blue-silver domain while bowing in Chen's direction. It was as if they were on a pilgrimage. For these blue-silver grass, just absorbing a little bit of the life energy released by the blue-silver domain was of great benefit, enough to accelerate their growth. At this moment, Chen issued an order through his consciousness. I want to find a place in the Sunset Forest where ice and fire energies are intertwined, which is very suitable for the growth of plant spirit beasts. Find that location for me. Upon receiving the order, these blue-silver grass immediately took action. They communicated in a unique way and began to inquire about the place where ice and fire energies are intertwined. Because blue-silver grass, as a type of spirit beast, were like weeds on the side of the road, they were numerous and found everywhere. There was no place in this Sunset Forest without blue-silver grass. Therefore, in less than half an hour, the location of the ice and fire yin-yang well had been discovered by these blue-silver grass. Chen was pleasantly surprised by this. Found the ice and fire yin-yang well. Take me there quickly. Under the guidance of these blue-silver grass, Chen quickly rushed towards the location of the ice and fire yin-yang well. In a short while, Chen arrived at a remote mountain range. According to the information provided by the blue-silver grass, the ice and fire yin-yang well was in the valley of the mountain range ahead. Because he was about to face the poisoned Douluo Dugu Bo, Chen took a deep breath, braced himself with full focus, and walked firmly step by step towards the mountain range ahead. Soon reaching the mountainside, Chen suddenly stopped. He saw that the air in front was filled with a layer of green miasma, which was chilling just to look at. Poison array. Chen murmured in a low voice and immediately summoned his blue-silver king spirit. The blue-silver king, crystal clear, emitting a soft golden halo and permeated with rich life energy, grew encircled around him. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, black. The 6 spirit rings, after being disguised, also rose one after another from under his feet. 4th spirit ability, blue-silver baptism. In an instant, Lu Chen's blue-silver king spirit burst forth with a blue light, holy, pure, bright. It seemed capable of purifying all evil. Under the illumination of the blue light, that layer of emerald poison miasma instantly melted away, just like winter snow meeting the warm sun. At the same time, inside the ice and fire yin-yang well, a thin old man wearing a black robe, with dark green long hair covering half of his face, opened his pair of emerald green eyes, which were greenish and carried a sense of emptiness. A cold, chilling voice came from his throat. Interesting. My poison array has been destroyed. To think someone could actually find this place. I wonder who is so bold. As the words fell, the old man in the black robe flashed and disappeared from where he was. One could tell from his tone, this person was Dugu Bo. Chapter 31. Dugu Bo's choice. Dugu Bo, dressed in a black robe, flashed through the air, breaking through the wind, and quickly arrived outside the valley. Standing on a large rock, he looked towards the spot where his poison formation had been broken, and in an instant, an expression of extreme astonishment appeared on his face. From his perspective, a strange middle-aged spirit emperor, wearing a blue robe, had summoned a spirit he had never seen before, and with a mere 1,000-year 4th spirit ability, had actually purified his jade phosphor serpent poison. It was not that Dugu Bo was boasting, but looking across the entire spirit master's world, those who could break his jade phosphor serpent poison could be counted on one hand. Yet today, a 6-ring spirit emperor had broken his jade phosphor serpent poison. This caused a glimmer of killing intent to bloom within Dugu Bo's emerald green pupils. The jade phosphor serpent poison was his foundation. A spirit master who could break the jade phosphor serpent poison was an existence he would absolutely not allow to exist. Thinking of this, Dugu Bo's figure instantly flashed out. He wanted to kill this spirit emperor to eliminate future trouble, but out of curiosity regarding the spirit emperor's spirit and spirit ability, he did not immediately make a move. Heh, remarkable. The current spirit master's world really does see the new waves pushing the old. You actually managed to break this old man's jade phosphor serpent poison. Not bad, truly not bad. Although he spoke words of praise, the killing intent in his tone was enough to make anyone shudder. Lu Chen heard this voice and also felt a chill in his heart. He knew the main character had appeared. Whether or not he could successfully win over Dugu Bo depended on this single attempt. He looked forward, and the figure of an old man in a black robe walked slowly out from the emerald green poison formation. On those gaunt cheeks, a pair of emerald green, hollow-looking eyes were staring at him without blinking, which made Lu Chen's expression tighten. Facing a titled Duluo, he dared not be the least bit careless. Lu Chen opened his mouth, suddenly remembering that he had disguised his true appearance, so he deliberately used a low voice to say, "Jade phosphor serpent poison. Your Excellency is the poison Duluo, Senior Dugu. So this place already has an owner. It was my rudeness. Please forgive me, Senior. I will leave right away. I am truly sorry for the abrupt intrusion." After finishing, Lu Chen withdrew his spirit, appearing as if he were about to turn and leave. Lu Chen knew that at this moment, he had to pretend to have stumbled upon this place by accident. Only then could he minimize Dugu Bo's wariness to the greatest extent. If a lone wolf like Dugu Bo knew that he had come specifically for him, Dugu Bo would inevitably develop extreme wariness towards him. This would be detrimental to his future attempts to win him over. Seeing that Lu Chen was about to leave, Dugu Bo flashed forward, chasing him down, quickly passing Lu Chen and blocking the path down the mountain. A hideous smile tugged at his face, and with eyes that seemed to be smiling yet not, he stared at Lu Chen, his tone playful as he said, "Since you've come, why the rush to leave? This old man has been in seclusion here for years. How did you find your way here? Speak." By the end, the chilling, killing intent in Dugu Bo's tone was released without any concealment. On Lu Chen's disguised face, a perfectly appropriate expression of nervousness appeared. Facing poison Duluo Dalu, being nervous was normal. Not being nervous would be absolutely abnormal. Lu Chen adopted a defensive posture and then quickly explained. My spirit is special and can resonate with plants. Because of some special sensations, I stumbled in here by accident. If I had known this was Senior's territory, I would never have intruded. If I have caused any offense, I ask for Senior's magnanimity. If Senior is unwilling to forgive me, I can also help Senior detoxify as an apology. Hearing what Lu Chen said earlier, an expression of contemplation appeared on Dugu Bo's face. In the valley where he was in seclusion, there were indeed some special plants growing, including precious medicinal herbs and deadly poisonous grasses. Many of them he did not even recognize, so he dared not pick them lightly. But upon hearing the last sentence Lu Chen said, Dugu Bo's expression changed drastically, and he flashed right in front of Lu Chen. Pressing one hand onto Lu Chen's shoulder, his pupils flickering with a predatory light, Dugu Bo looked at Lu Chen and said, word for word, "Do you know what you are saying?" Just then, as Dugu Bo looked at Lu Chen's face, he felt as if he were looking at flowers through the mist, unable to see it clearly. He frowned and mobilized all his mental force, attempting to see through Lu Chen's true appearance. Unfortunately, it was as if there were layers of fog, and he could not completely see through Lu Chen's disguise. Lu Chen's disguise came from the blue-silver domain. For ordinary spirit masters, they naturally could not tell he had used a disguise. However, facing high-level spirit masters like Dugu Bo, because their mental force far exceeded the current Lu Chen's, it was difficult for Lu Chen to completely deceive Dugu Bo. But as long as the blue-silver domain remained, Lu Chen's disguise would continue to exist. Even a high-level spirit master like Dugu Bo could only use his profound mental force to detect that Lu Chen had used a disguise, but he could not see through his true face. Dugu Bo scoffed and said, "Still a guy who hides his head and shows his tail. Your disguise is quite clever, but unfortunately, it cannot deceive this old man's eyes." Lu Chen felt his heart sink. Dugu Bo had actually seen that he had used a disguise. He had indeed underestimated a titled Duluo. However, his blue-silver domain was still effective, so Dugu Bo should not have seen through his true face. Lu Chen took a deep breath and said calmly, "After all, when away from home, one must be on guard. A few small tricks are just for self-protection. As for what I said just now, I can try to help Senior detoxify. I am a support soul master, and among my spirit abilities, I have one that detoxifies. The one that broke Senior's poison formation just now was that very detoxification spirit ability. When Senior first appeared, I had already noticed that Senior's complexion was overly pale. Your aura was chillingly unlike that of a normal person, and there was also the color of your hair, beard, and pupils. Judging from various signs, I believe Senior has been poisoned. During rainy days, your ribs must ache terribly, and it flares up once at the hour of the rat, and once at the hour of the horse, each time lasting at least half an hour, with pain throughout your whole body like needle pricks. I can try to help Senior detoxify. If I succeed, then naturally it is a happy outcome for everyone. If I fail, then there is no loss for Senior. Senior can think it over carefully. I am not willing to joke with my own life either." Dugu Bo's expression was uncertain. Lu Chen's judgment of him was not off at all. Dugu Bo was indeed poisoned, and it was his own jade phosphor serpent poison. Even the symptoms of the flare-ups were judged with extreme accuracy. This gave Dugu Bo the illusion of being seen through. A dignified titled Duluo, actually seen through by a spirit emperor. This made Dugu Bo somewhat annoyed. But thinking carefully, the person in front of him not only broke his jade phosphor serpent poison, but also pointed out the symptoms of his poisoning in one sentence. Perhaps, the person before him could really help him detoxify. For the sake of his own life, Dugu Bo quickly made a decision. He released the palm pressed onto Lu Chen's shoulder and said in a low voice, "Fine, this old man will let you try. If you can detoxify me, then today's matter will be wiped clean, and this old man will even owe you a favor. If you cannot detoxify me, For trespassing on my place of seclusion and toying with me, you will not be leaving the sunset forest alive today." Big Brother Dugu, Brother Lan Chen. Lu Chen felt a surge of joy in his heart. The situation was tilting in his favor. As long as he could detoxify Dugu Bo, he would earn Dugu Bo's favor, the favor of a titled Duluo. It was something countless people yearned for but could never obtain. Hunting the 85,000-year blue-silver king to use as his seventh spirit ring would no longer be an impossible dream. With Dugu Bo's help, everything would become reality. Lu Chen smiled and nodded, saying, "Very well. Since Senior trusts me, I will attempt to detoxify you." The detoxification process may be accompanied by pain. I hope Senior will not resist. Subscribe for more amazing novel audiobooks. Don't forget to like, comment, and share infinite novel audio. A glimmer of expectation appeared in Dugu Bo's eyes, though it was overshadowed by a threatening look. "I hope your method is truly effective, otherwise, this old man will not let you off." Following that, Dugu Bo, unafraid of Lu Chen playing any tricks, spread his hands and stood before Lu Chen, looking completely unguarded. After all, he was a titled Duluo. Even if he were the weakest titled Duluo, he was still not someone a spirit emperor like Lu Chen could compare to. He was not in the slightest afraid that Lu Chen would suddenly attack. Seeing this, Lu Chen once again summoned his spirit, the Blue-Silver King. Beneath his feet, his 6 disguised spirit rings rose one by one. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, black. This relatively normal spirit ring configuration did not attract much of Dugu Bo's attention. Instead, it was Lu Chen's spirit that caused Dugu Bo to marvel. Lu Chen's Blue-Silver King spirit was simply the most perfect and noble plant spirit Dugu Bo had ever seen. Its entire body was crystalline and translucent, a clear azure blue. It did not look like a normal plant at all, but rather something carved from jade. Its surface radiated a soft golden halo and was permeated with a rich aura of life. Dugu Bo's body, long tormented by severe poison, felt as if it had encountered sweet dew in a drought just by drawing near the plant's spirit and absorbing those wisps of life energy, feeling a sense of clarity throughout his entire being. The next instant, under Lu Chen's control, the branches of the Blue-Silver King spirit extended one by one, binding themselves around Dugu Bo's body. Lu Chen's mind stirred, 4th spirit ability, Blue-Silver Baptism. Under the continuous infusion of his spirit power, the Blue-Silver King spirit bloomed with a dazzling light. That light, holy and pure, and filled with life energy, poured into Dugu Bo's body. Dugu Bo's expression changed instantly. His body, riddled with holes from the erosion of the severe poison, began to frantically absorb the energy pouring into it, soft and warm. It was refreshing to the heart and soul. Dugu Bo felt a bit dazed. His cold, icy body had not felt this warm in a very long time. Under the nourishment of that energy, his skin, flesh, meridians, organs, and bones all radiated a brand new vitality. However, the good times did not last long. The jade phosphor serpent poison entrenched in his body reacted violently to this life energy and began to spontaneously resist. Hiss. Dugu Bo suddenly widened his eyes and gasped. The jade phosphor serpent poison began to flare up, causing him unbearable pain throughout his body. A terrifying aura erupted uncontrollably from his body, turning into a wild gale that swept in all directions, lifting the fallen branches and leaves on the ground into the sky. Lu Chen was closest to Dugu Bo. Under that terrifying aura, his eyelids twitched and his whole body tensed up, fearing that Dugu Bo might lose control of himself. Senior, endure. After Lu Chen's reminder, Dugu Bo panted heavily like an ox, cold sweat streaming down both sides of his cheeks. I must endure. Dugu Bo thought viciously. His hands were clenched into fists, his teeth tightly gritted, as he endured the excruciating pain radiating from within his body. As time ticked by, the desperate resistance of the jade phosphor serpent poison finally reached its limit. Under the encirclement and interception of the life energy, the jade phosphor serpent poison was forced into a corner and eventually neutralized by the life energy. The neutralized jade phosphor serpent poison gradually dissipated into nothingness. Noticing this situation, Dugu Bo felt overjoyed and pleasantly surprised. The jade phosphor serpent poison that had tormented him for decades might actually have a day where it could be resolved. Dugu Bo had the urge to shed tears of an old man. However, at this very moment, the life energy that had been continuously pouring into his body suddenly stopped. Dugu Bo was stunned. Seeing the jade phosphor serpent poison about to be neutralized, stopping at such a moment created a feeling of being left hanging. It made him so frustrated he wanted to vomit blood. Dugu Bo instantly opened his eyes and looked at Lu Chen with an unfriendly gaze. But what he saw was a panting Lu Chen. Lu Chen wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and explained to Dugu Bo, "Senior, my spirit power is limited. I can only do this much for today. After all, you are a titled Duluo. The severe poison accumulated in your body is like a disease attached to the bones. It is not so easy to completely resolve." Of course, it was not that Lu Chen had truly run out of spirit power. It was that once Dugu Bo's poison was completely resolved, his own value would be greatly diminished. This was what they called cultivating an enemy to maintain one's own importance. Only while Dugu Bo was suffering from the severe poison would Lu Chen's value rise. Lu Chen knew clearly that he was not here to do good deeds. He was here to rope in Dugu Bo to be his thug. Therefore, he could not be foolish enough to help Dugu Bo purge the severe poison completely in one go. Dugu Bo was so angry his teeth itched. He admitted that what Lu Chen said made sense. The severe poison in his body was not accumulated in a single day, and it could not be resolved in a single day. But this feeling of the detoxification being stopped halfway was truly agonizing for him. Dugu Bo took a deep breath, exhaled deeply, inhaled again, exhaled again. After repeating this several times back and forth, he finally calmed his mood. After realizing Lu Chen's value, Dugu Bo completely changed his attitude. His face was smiling, his eyes looked at Lu Chen eagerly, and he proactively comforted him. "I understand, I completely understand. I still do not know how to address you." Upon hearing this question, Lu Chen thought for a moment, then replied with composure, "My name is Lan Chen. Senior, the poison in your body is too deep. It cannot be purged in a day or two. We need to plan for the long term and use half a month to a month to completely purge the severe poison from your body." He did not ask about the origin of the severe poison Dugu Bo was suffering from. After all, he and Dugu Bo had only met for the first day. In the process of getting to know someone, it is very taboo to speak deeply when the acquaintance is shallow. They did not have any friendship yet, and probing into the other party's background at this time would easily cause resentment. Moreover, the poison Dugu Bo was suffering from originated from his spirit and spirit ring. Even if he purged the severe poison from Dugu Bo, it would only treat the symptoms, not the root cause, and the severe poison would make a comeback in the future. When that time came, Dugu Bo would still have to beg Lu Chen. Regarding Dugu Bo's situation, if Lu Chen were even a little more black-hearted, he could completely exploit him for a lifetime. However, Lu Chen was not that black-hearted yet. In the future, when his friendship with Dugu Bo deepened, he could teach him the true method to treat the root cause. Dugu Bo did not know what Lu Chen was thinking, and he continued enthusiastically, "No rush. This old man has been tormented by the severe poison for so long. I don't care if it's resolved a day earlier or a day later. I am happy today to have met Brother Lan Chen. Let's go to my residence in Heaven Dew City, and we shall have a good drink." In such a short time, Lu Chen had already become brother in Dugu Bo's mouth. It was evident that Lu Chen's value had already been acknowledged by Dugu Bo. Lu Chen appeared very happy. "I am honored by senior's regard. Then I will boldly call you Big Brother Dugu. Today, I will certainly accompany Big Brother Dugu to drink to our heart's content." With Lu Chen calling him Big Brother Dugu and Dugu Bo calling him Brother Lan Chen, the relationship between the two was instantly brought closer. Afterwards, the two of them walked away with their arms around each other's shoulders, left the sunset forest, and headed towards Heaven Dew City together. Chapter 33, Spirit Poison Heaven Dew City. This is the capital of the Heaven Du Empire, the most prosperous place in the entire Heaven Du Empire. Dugu Bo has a residence of considerable size in Heaven Du City. However, because he needs to suppress the severe poison, he lives at the ice and fire yin-yang well all year round and rarely returns to his residence in Heaven Du City. Today, because of Lu Chen, part of the severe poison in his body has been neutralized. He no longer needs to stay at the ice and fire yin-yang well every moment. Therefore, Dugu Bo led Lu Chen back to this residence in Heaven Du City. Of course, there is another reason. Dugu Bo does not want the secret of the ice and fire yin-yang well to be exposed, and he wants to let Lu Chen feel how much he values him. That is why he brought him back to his own home, Dugu residence. After returning home, Dugu Bo asked his servants to go to the market and quickly buy some side dishes for drinking. As for himself, he went to the cellar to bring out a jar of liquor he had brewed himself. This was good stuff. The snakes, insects, and medicinal herbs soaked in the liquor were all things he had caught and gathered himself. Drinking a cup can nourish the tendons and bones and strengthen the body. It is a top-tier medicinal liquor. Usually, Dugu Bo couldn't bear to take it out. At this moment, in order to entertain Lu Chen, Dugu Bo brought out his hidden stash. He poured a cup for Lu Chen and then poured one for himself. Raising his wine cup, Dugu Bo said enthusiastically, "Brother Lan Chen, hurry and taste this. This is liquor I brewed myself. Last time Prince Zuzing wanted some, I couldn't bear to give it to him. Today, to celebrate our brotherhood, we will finish this entire jar." Under Dugu Bo's enthusiastic invitation, Lu Chen also raised his wine cup. Logically speaking, he is only 10 years old, and he shouldn't be drinking at this age, but given his physical fitness, drinking a little alcohol is not a problem. Lu Chen still spoke in that low voice. "Many thanks for your hospitality, Brother Dugu." Then this younger brother will not stand on ceremony. After speaking, Lu Chen raised the wine cup to his lips, tilted his head back, and poured the liquor into his mouth. The crisp, clear liquor slid down his throat and into his stomach. It made one feel warm inside the belly. There were also wisps of weak energy gradually spreading from his abdomen, reaching his internal organs and all his limbs and bones, nourishing his entire body's tendons and bones. This medicinal liquor is really good. Lu Chen's eyes lit up, and he praised loudly. Brother Dugu's liquor is truly good liquor. Dugu Bo also showed a look of pride. He naturally knew the liquor he brewed himself was good. Then Dugu Bo poured another full cup for Lu Chen. "Haha, as long as Brother Lan Chen likes it, today we won't stop until we're drunk." The two of them, one cup after another, soon drank half a jar of the liquor. The atmosphere gradually became lively. Seeing that the timing was about right, Dugu Bo looked at Lu Chen's disguised face and asked tentatively, "Brother, with the relationship between us brothers, you might as well drop your disguise. Being cautious outside is one thing, but there is nothing to be reserved about here with your big brother." Although Lu Chen had drunk quite a bit, his physical fitness was strong and his metabolic ability was good, so he was not drunk at all. At this moment, hearing the inquiry, he feigned grief and said, "Brother, you don't know, I have a potential enemy. Back then, he not only bullied me but also bullied my parents, making me hate him to the bone. Unfortunately, his strength is formidable and I am no match for him. Over these years, I have changed my appearance to avoid this person. Please forgive me, brother. Before I have the strength to confront that enemy, I dare not show my true face." This was half truth, half false. Lu Chen indeed has an enemy, namely the father-son pair Tang Hao and Tang San. This pair of father and son took away his spot as a work-study student and bullied his parents, making him hate them to the core. But the reason he hid his true face was actually because he was too young. A spirit emperor under 10 years old was just too shocking. This could not be easily exposed, otherwise he would have no peace forever. Dugu Bo raised his eyebrows and said somewhat protectively, "Brother Lan Chen's enemy is my enemy. I wonder what kind of strength that enemy of yours has. As a titled Duluo, I have few rivals on this continent. With my strength, it should be enough to deal with that enemy of yours." When Lu Chen heard this, he thought of Tang Hao. He shook his head and said in a deep voice, "I'm afraid that won't do. That person is extremely powerful, not comparable to an ordinary titled Duluo. Brother Dugu might not be able to beat him. Lu Chen spoke very tactfully. Compared to Tang Hao, Dugu Bo was simply incomparable. Dugu Bo was shocked to hear this. As a dignified titled Duluo, there was an enemy he couldn't even deal with. That could only be an even more powerful titled Duluo. Dugu Bo was silent for a moment. This land Chen could actually provoke a titled Duluo. One must know that on the continent, titled Duluo are few and far between, and every one of them is an existence that countless people look up to. This land Chen's background is even more mysterious than he imagined. Dugu Bo looked deeply at Lu Chen. He stopped mentioning the previous matter and no longer insisted on seeing Lu Chen's true face. He continued to exchange cups with Lu Chen, when the liquor in the jar gradually bottomed out. Dugu Bo, full of the smell of alcohol, spoke as if complaining. Brother, to tell you the truth, the poison in my body comes from my spirit. We spirit masters of the jade phosphor snake lineage. Although we possess terrifying poisonous toxins, this poison also harms others and ourselves. The severe poison I suffer from can still be suppressed with spirit power, but my poor granddaughter Yan Yan is now also tortured by the poison. She does not have as deep a spirit power as I do. Every time she is tortured by the severe poison, it is agonizing. Today, brother, your ability made me feel extremely pleasantly surprised. My spirit power is profound, so I can still suppress the severe poison, and I am not in a rush to completely neutralize it, but my granddaughter cannot wait any longer. I would like to ask you, brother, to take action and first help my granddaughter neutralize the severe poison. Hearing Dugu Bo say this, Lu Chen laughed heartily and agreed. Brother, you are being too polite. Since I address you as brother, then your granddaughter is my granddaughter. If my own granddaughter is suffering from severe poison, I will definitely do my utmost to treat her. Once I recover my spirit power, I will accompany you, brother, to go and treat our granddaughter. Dugu Bo was overjoyed. Lu Chen was so straightforward, not even mentioning any conditions, which moved him quite a bit. Recognizing this brother was well worth it. Dugu Bo is both righteous and evil on the continent, acting only according to his own heart. He repays kindness, and he also definitely repays grudges. Lu Chen's promptness gave him the intention to truly befriend him. Dugu Bo raised his glass again and said with a smile, Brother, thank you for being willing to take action to treat her. Stay at my place for the night, and tomorrow we will go to the Heavendu Imperial Academy. My granddaughter is currently studying at the Heavendu Imperial Academy. As long as you, brother, can cure the poison on her, I will press my granddaughter's head down and make her acknowledge you as her grandfather. From now on, we will be one family. If you, brother, need anything, just say the word. Even if I have to go through fire and water, I will definitely get it done. Lu Chen's smile became even richer. This was the effect he wanted. With Dugu Bo's full effort, hunting an 85,000-year-old blue-silver king would absolutely not be a problem. He said with a smile, Brother, rest assured, I will definitely do my best. That night, Lu Chen stayed at Dugu Bo's place, and the next day, Lu Chen accompanied Dugu Bo to the Heavendu Imperial Academy. Chapter 34, Dugu Yan, the granddaughter Heavendu Imperial Academy. This is an academy directly funded by the royal family of the Heavendu Empire. The dean of this academy is none other than the current emperor of the Heavendu Empire, Emperor Zhu Yi. Of course, Emperor Zhu Yi does not manage the academy directly. The daily operations are handled by the academy's 3 committee members. The chief committee member Meng Shenji, the second committee member Bai Baishan, and the third committee member Zhai Lin. All 3 are Atring Spirit Duluo, experts second only to the 9-ring titled Duluo. Just as Dugu Bo arrived at the Heavendu Imperial Academy with Lu Chen, these 3 committee members immediately sensed the dangerous aura emanating from Dugu Bo. The Academy Plaza, 3 elderly figures dressed in black robes with gold patterns appeared on the plaza in just a few flashes. Upon seeing Dugu Bo, the 3 bowed politely. Greetings, Your Excellency Jade Phosphor. After the salute, the leader of the 3, committee member Meng Shenji, stepped forward. Staring at Dugu Bo without blinking, he said in a deep voice, May I ask what brings Your Excellency Jade Phosphor here? There was, of course, a reason why the 3 committee members were so nervous. This is the Heaven-Du Imperial Academy. Everyone inside is a proud son of heaven, the future of the entire Heaven-Du Empire. A dangerous fellow like Dugu Bo arriving at the Heaven-Du Imperial Academy without notice. If he harbored malice, he could slaughter all the students of the Heaven-Du Imperial Academy in an instant. Although the probability was small, the 3 committee members had to be on guard. This was their duty. Protecting the academy was their bounden duty. Dugu Bo glanced at the 3. After all, they were 3 spirit Duluo. He couldn't deny them face, so he explained casually, "I have taken a younger brother. Today, I am bringing him to visit my granddaughter. You don't need to be nervous. Just go about your business. Don't mind us." Hearing Dugu Bo's explanation, the 3 committee members breathed a sigh of relief. But immediately after, the 3 committee members' curious gazes shifted in unison toward Chen, filled with a mix of inquiry and contemplation. To be considered a younger brother by Dugu Bo, this person must be truly extraordinary. As Spirit Duluo, committee member Meng Shenji, committee member Bai Baishan, and committee member Zhai Lin possessed strong mental force. When they looked at Chen, they had a feeling of looking through mist, unable to see him clearly. The 3 instantly realized that Chen was using a disguise. However, like Dugu Bo, although they could detect that Chen was disguised, they could not see through his true appearance. Committee member Meng Shenji took the initiative to greet him. "I am committee member Meng Shenji, an 86th level control system spirit Duluo, and the chief committee member of this Heaven-Du Imperial Academy. May I ask how to address your excellency? To be able to call your excellency Jade Phosphor brother, you must surely be an extraordinary person." After he finished speaking, committee member Bai Baishan and committee member Zhai Lin also introduced themselves. Then, all 3 pairs of eyes turned to Chen. In the Spirit Master's world, it is not all about fighting and killing. It is more about worldly wisdom and social relationships. Now that the 3 committee members had introduced themselves, if Chen didn't say something, it would be a bit rude. After all, this was the etiquette of Spirit Masters. Chen twitched his lips and swept his gaze over the 3 committee members. Since they wanted to probe for information, he would have to reveal a little. Chen, a 69th level support system Spirit Emperor. The great names of the 3 committee members are like thunder in my ears. I have heard of them, and it is a pleasure to meet you today. Committee member Meng Shenji looked at Chen thoughtfully. To have 69th level spirit power at such a young age, and to be a support system spirit master, Brother Chen is truly a promising youth. Chen's disguised appearance was that of a middle-aged man around 30. To possess 69th level spirit power at around 30 years old, looking across the entire continent, he was undoubtedly one of the best. Their teacher at the Heaven-Du Imperial Academy, Qin Ming, had just broken through to 60th level spirit power at around 30 years old. And that had already left them amazed. They hadn't expected someone to break through even faster than Qin Ming. At the same age of around 30, he was already at 69th level spirit power. Committee member Meng Shenji, committee member Bai Baishan, and committee member Zhai Lin all had some ulterior thoughts at this moment. Could they recruit such a genius? But at this moment, Dugu Bo spoke up. I still need to take my younger brother to visit my granddaughter. You 3 committee members don't need to accompany us." After saying this, Dugu Bo took Chen and walked past the 3 committee members, heading toward the teaching building of the Heaven-Du Imperial Academy. After the 2 left, the 3 committee members looked at each other and then began to discuss in low voices. Committee member Meng Shenji said, "This person is extraordinary. He looks to be around 30, yet he has 69th level spirit power. It is a pity that it is not his true face. To be able to call your excellency Jade Phosphor brother, how could he have been unknown before? Chen, has any one of you heard this name?" Committee member Bai Baishan shook his head and said, "Never heard of it. It's as if he appeared out of thin air." A 69th level support system Spirit Emperor cannot be completely unknown unless that name is fake and he is deliberately hiding his identity. Committee member Zhai Lin finally spoke up. "His spirit is very unusual. My Azure Vine spirit felt a faint sense of suppression in his presence." A spirit that can suppress the azure vine must be a top-tier plant spirit. The three shared their thoughts, and with a little bit of speculation, they immediately figured out why Chen was hiding his true identity. A 69th level support system Spirit Emperor, about to cross the threshold of level 70, would soon become a support system Spirit Saint. This was a good thing, but also a bad thing. On the current continent, the one known as the #1 support spirit in the world is the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda of the 7-treasure glazed tile school. While the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda has powerful support effects, it also has limitations. It can only hold 7 spirit rings, capping it at a 79th level spirit saint. Even with this limitation, it firmly sits in the position of the #1 support spirit on the continent. No other support spirit can challenge their status. This is due to the sect master of the 7-treasure glazed tile school, who has spent years suppressing and even killing other support spirit masters. At this moment, the 3 committee members believed they had figured out the reason why Chen was hiding his true identity. Committee member Meng Shenji sighed and said, "It is a pity. Such a brilliant genius has been forced to the point of hiding his name. That sect master is truly too overbearing. If we want to recruit this Chen, perhaps only His Majesty can intervene. I will report the situation to His Majesty exactly as it is. As long as His Majesty mediates, that sect master will not dare to be too oppressive. Perhaps at that time, this Chen will be able to restore his real name." Committee member Bai Baoshan and committee member Zhai Lin nodded in deep agreement. Meanwhile, at the teaching building, with Dugu Bo intervening, Dugu Yan, who was still in class, was immediately given a day off by her teacher. With purple hair and green eyes, charming and alluring and full of youthful vitality, Dugu Yan walked out of the classroom, hugged Dugu Bo's arm, and acted like a spoiled child. "Grandpa, how do you have time to visit me today?" Dugu Bo's face was full of doting affection. Since his son and daughter-in-law died, this granddaughter had become his only sustenance. She had been pampered since she was a child, and he had given all his warmth to Dugu Yan. After Dugu Bo confirmed that Chen could neutralize the jade phosphor serpent poison, the first thing he thought of was to have Chen detoxify Dugu Yan. At this moment, Dugu Bo introduced them. "Younger brother, this is my granddaughter, Dugu Yan. You can just call her Yan Yan." "Yan Yan, this is my newly sworn younger brother named Chen. You should call him grandfather Chen." Chen felt strange inside. He was only 10 years old, and Dugu Yan looked to be about 15 or 16. To have 15 or 16-year-old Dugu Yan call his 10-year-old self grandfather. Chen found it ridiculous. Once Dugu Yan discovered the truth in the future, she would probably want to kill him. But at this moment, Chen, feeling a bit mischievous, looked at Dugu Yan and said with a smile, "Yan Yan." Dugu Yan had been spoiled by Dugu Bo since she was a child. How could she be willing to call someone grandfather for no reason? She was about to refuse, but she saw her grandfather's stern expression. She was somewhat reluctant, looked at Chen and called out, "Grandfather Chen." Chapter 35, Detoxifying Dugu Yan, Binding Treatment. Dugu Bo stroked his beard and said, "There are too many eyes here. Let's find another place to talk in detail." Afterward, Chen, Dugu Bo, and Dugu Yan left the place together. Inside the classroom, the curious students, under the teacher's repeated reprimands, returned their attention to the lesson on the other side. After leaving, Chen, Dugu Bo, and Dugu Yan found an empty classroom. After checking and confirming that there were no outsiders around, Dugu Bo looked at Dugu Yan and said with a serious expression, "Yan Yan, today I brought Brother Chen to the academy not only to visit you, but also to ask Brother Chen to detoxify you. I have experienced it personally. Brother Chen can neutralize the jade phosphor serpent poison in our bodies. From now on, we grandfather and granddaughter will finally no longer have to suffer the torture of the jade phosphor serpent poison." Hearing Dugu Bo say this, Dugu Yan was greatly shocked. Being clever and quick-witted, she soon understood. No wonder her grandfather, a dignified titled Duluo, was willing to address this Chen as a brother and even insisted that she acknowledge him as a grandfather. It turned out, It was all because Chen could neutralize the jade phosphor serpent poison. Dugu Yan was now 16 years old and possessed level 35 spirit power, which didn't even compare to Dai Mubai, who spent his days carousing. Dai Mubai had level 37 spirit power at 15. Everything was because Dugu Yan suffered from the torture of the jade phosphor serpent poison every day, which not only wasted a large amount of time for cultivate, but also made her fear becoming stronger through cultivate. Because the deeper her spirit power was, the deeper the jade phosphor serpent poison would erode her, which prevented Dugu Yan from fully unleashing her talent. Dugu Yan understood Dugu Bo's good intentions and was no longer so resistant to Chen. If Chen could treat her jade phosphor serpent poison, then acknowledging him as a grandfather was not unacceptable. Dugu Yan looked at Chen, her emerald eyes flashing with some anticipation, and she asked with curiosity in her tone. "Then, Grandfather Chen, how will you treat the jade phosphor serpent poison in my body?" Chen calmly said in response. "Please, Brother Dugu, guard the classroom door and do not let anyone in to disturb us." Yan, I will now use my spirit ability to neutralize the jade phosphor serpent poison in your body. This process will be accompanied by some pain. You must endure it and not resist my treatment." After Chen finished speaking, Dugu Bo patted his chest and guaranteed that he would absolutely not let anyone enter to disturb them. Afterward, he gave Dugu Yan a reassuring look, signaling her to follow Chen's arrangements. Then, Dugu Bo went to the classroom door. With a titled Douluo guarding it, even the 3 committee members of the academy would be blocked outside if they came. At this moment, only Chen and Dugu Yan remained inside the classroom. In front of Dugu Yan, Chen summoned his blue-silver king spirit. The moment that unique blue-silver king spirit appeared, it attracted Dugu Yan's gaze. Under Chen's control, the blue-silver vines rapidly extended and stretched out, binding themselves around Dugu Yan's body. The life force emitted by the blue-silver vines made Dugu Yan feel a wave of warmth, which also made her look forward to Chen even more. Immediately, 6 spirit rings, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, black, rose from beneath Chen's feet. As Chen moved his mind, 4th spirit ability, blue-silver baptism, his 4th spirit ring shone under the continuous infusion of Chen's spirit power. His blue-silver king spirit bloomed with a blue light, holy, pure, and full of life force. These blue lights surged into Dugu Yan's body, beginning to nourish her flesh, organs, meridians, and bones, allowing all her organs to regain their vitality. That warm feeling made Dugu Yan feel as if she were soaking in a hot spring. It was very comfortable, and she even wanted to moan out loud. However, not long after, the life energy that surged into Dugu Yan's body found the jade phosphor serpent poison entrenched within her. At this moment, the life energy instantly prepared itself, surrounding and intercepting the jade phosphor serpent poison, wanting to completely purify it. The jade phosphor serpent poison, of course, would not surrender without a fight. The snake poison instantly flared up, rampaging inside Dugu Yan's body. This caused Dugu Yan to grunt, and fine cold sweat began to seep from her fair forehead. Pain, it was too painful. Dugu Yan was not Dugu Bo. She did not have such strong willpower. At this moment, she was crying and shouting, wanting to stop the treatment. Chen, of course, would not let her have her way. As he moved his mind, the blue-silver vines binding Dugu Yan instantly began to tighten, bundling her up. Another blue-silver vine wound up along Dugu Yan's slender neck, plugging her crying mouth as well. Dugu Yan was bound like a zongzi, with a blue-silver vine stuffed even into her mouth. She could not move, she could not call out, and could only cry softly with muffled sounds. At this moment, Dugu Yan was full of anger, her pair of emerald eyes glaring at Chen fiercely, as if she wished she could bite him. She had never been abused like this before. This Chen actually dared to tie her up and even plug her mouth. This was something Dugu Yan had never experienced. Now Dugu Yan felt very uncomfortable. The jade phosphor serpent poison was flaring up, causing her extreme pain throughout her body. But under the nourishment of the life energy, every one of her organs regained vitality, and her body felt as warm as if she were soaking in a hot spring. This feeling of warmth mixed with pain made Dugu Yan feel very uncomfortable. Yet at this moment, she was bound up by Chen, unable to move or cry out, and could only silently endure it. At the very beginning, Dugu Yan was still glaring fiercely at Chen, looking as if she wished to bite him. But as time passed second by second, Dugu Yan slowly became strange. She gasped softly in her mouth, like a complaint or a plea. This process of being forcibly bound for treatment, the feeling of pain mixed with pleasure, made a kind of strange joy arise in her heart. Dugu Yan's pair of emerald eyes gradually became moist, shimmering with waves, glowing with a soft charm. And inside Dugu Yan's body, the rampaging jade phosphor serpent poison was finally cornered by the life energy. Afterward, the life energy began to swarm, reacting with the jade phosphor serpent poison to neutralize it, purifying the jade phosphor serpent poison into nothingness. Dugu Yan was not Dugu Bo. The jade phosphor serpent poison entrenched in her body was not that stubborn. Therefore, after some effort, Chen purified the jade phosphor serpent poison completely. Without the erosion of the jade phosphor serpent poison, Dugu Yan felt completely relieved and could no longer feel any pain. Continuous life energy surged in, nourishing her limbs and bones and her internal organs. Dugu Yan closed her eyes, tilted her head slightly, and enjoyed the nourishment of the life energy, her body feeling a pleasure from the inside out. I must be crazy. This thought arose in Dugu Yan's heart. On this day, she was bound and forcibly treated, obtaining a pleasure that was both painful and happy. At the very beginning, she only felt anger and shame, but now she was instead enjoying it, thoroughly reveling in it. If this isn't crazy, what is? As the treatment was completed, Chen raised his hand and retracted the blue-silver vines that were binding Dugu Yan. Dugu Yan's body went limp. She couldn't muster any strength and sat down on the floor with a thud, still panting softly, her eyes revealing a lingering aftertaste. Chapter 36. Heaven Dew Crown Prince. After the treatment was complete, Chen called out toward the doorway. "Brother Dugu, the poison has been neutralized." Upon hearing this voice, Dugu Bo, who had been waiting anxiously outside the door, rushed back into the classroom without a moment's hesitation. With a pained expression, he stepped forward quickly, helped Dugu Yan up from the ground, and asked with concern, Yan, how do you feel? Has the jade phosphor serpent poison in your body been neutralized?" Dugu Yan panted softly, and with Dugu Bo's support, she swayed as she stood upright. "Grandfather, the jade phosphor serpent poison has been neutralized, it is just." Regarding what Dugu Yan experienced during the process of treating the jade phosphor serpent poison and the psychological changes she went through, Dugu Yan truly found it difficult to speak about. Dugu Bo did not care about anything else. With a relieved expression, he said, "Good, as long as the serpent poison is neutralized. A little pain is something that can be endured. Yan, what makes me happiest right now is that I no longer have to worry about your life being in danger. In my life, I have already experienced the grief of a white-haired person sending off a black-haired person once. If I were to experience it again, I dare not imagine how insane I would become." Hearing Dugu Bo mention this touched Dugu Yan deeply. She had lost her parents when she was very young. Her father had eventually passed away due to the backlash of the jade phosphor serpent poison, and her mother had followed him shortly after. She had originally thought that her own future would be the same as her father's, passing away one day due to the backlash of the jade phosphor serpent poison. Now it was better. The jade phosphor serpent poison in her body had been neutralized. Her fate had truly been changed. Although she felt embarrassed to speak about her inner psychological changes, Dugu Yan still expressed her gratitude to Chen. "Grandpa Lan Chen, thank you so much." Chen nodded with a smile. Although being called Grandpa felt a bit strange after hearing it so much, he had more or less gotten used to it. Then he said with a solemn expression, Yan, the toxic poison in your body has now been mostly neutralized. But I heard from Brother Dugu that this poison of yours comes from your spirit. As long as you continue to cultivate the jade phosphor snake spirit, I fear this poison will sooner or later return. I also do not have a good method to solve this problem once and for all. For now, the only way is for me to help you clear the toxic poison from your bodies every once in a while. Although this treats the symptoms but not the root cause, it is enough to ensure you are not in any danger to your lives. Of course, Chen did not truly have no solution. He wanted to tell Dugu and Dugu Yan that their crisis had not been completely resolved, and if they wanted to continue living safely, they had to rely on him. Chen's actions were indeed not exactly upright, but he had to do it. Act as the villain first, then the gentleman. After all, he had only known Dugu for a few days. To prevent Dugu from crossing the river and burning the bridge, or turning hostile and denying him, he had to ensure that he always remained valuable to Dugu and Dugu Yan. Once their friendship deepened in the future, he would naturally help Dugu and Dugu Yan solve this problem once and for all. With Chen's reminder, Dugu and Dugu Yan also realized this problem. That's right, the toxic poison they were afflicted with did not come from the outside, but from within. It came from the jade phosphor snake spirit they were cultivating. As long as they continued to cultivate the jade phosphor snake spirit, the toxic poison would continue to erode their bodies. This was fundamentally an unsolvable problem. Thinking of this, the way Dugu looked at Chen changed. He realized that if their grandfather and granddaughter duo wanted to live safely in the future, they would have to continue relying on Chen. Dugu laughed heartily. Haha, this is already very good. At least from now on, our grandfather and granddaughter pair will no longer have to suffer from the torment of the toxic poison. Brother Chen, I won't say much more regarding words of thanks. You have neutralized the poison for my granddaughter and will also neutralize the toxic poison for me. From now on, you are an honored guest of our Dugu family. This kindness will never be forgotten. In the future, if you have any needs, I, Dugu will definitely do whatever I can. I am happy today. To celebrate Yan's successful detoxification, I will book a table at the Dingxiang restaurant. We brothers will have a good drink, and we won't return until we are drunk. Seeing that his plan had succeeded, Chen was also very happy and replied with a smile. Then I won't stand on ceremony. In the future, if I have to trouble Brother Dugu, I ask for your assistance. Today, I will definitely accompany Brother Dugu to drink to our heart's content. Subsequently, Chen, Dugu and Dugu Yan left the Heavendu Imperial Academy together and headed to the Dingxiang restaurant in Heavendu City. This was the most bustling restaurant in Heavendu City. Dugu booked a private room, ordered a table of top-tier food and wine, and pulled Chen to eat and drink. The atmosphere was extremely harmonious. At the dinner table, Dugu Yan seemed somewhat curious about Chen, constantly asking this and that, wanting to know about his past. Naturally, Chen would not tell the truth. Otherwise, what would be the point of his disguise? But he also didn't want to lie, as fabricated lies always had flaws. In response to this, he always remained silent. Whenever Dugu Yan asked, Chen would sigh slightly and reveal a complex expression, leaving everything to the imagination of Dugu and Dugu Yan. An image of a talented and incomparable genius who was envied and suppressed, and thus forced to live under an assumed name, became deeply engraved in the minds of Dugu and Dugu Yan. They drank until evening. Chen followed the grandfather and granddaughter, Dugu and Dugu Yan, back to the Dugu residence and stayed there. Meanwhile, committee member Meng Shenji, committee member Bai Baoshan, and committee member Zhai Lin of the Heavendu Imperial Academy wrote a complete report of today's events, signed their names, and immediately sent it to Emperor Zhu Yi's desk. Out of respect for the three committee members, Emperor Zhu Yi did not delay and opened the report to read it immediately. After finishing, Emperor Zhu Yi sighed expressionlessly. This schoolmaster Ning has actually suppressed dissent to such an extent. A spirit emperor who reached a breakthrough to level 69 spirit power at around 30 years old was actually forced to change his appearance and live under an assumed name. I remember that, in the Heavendu Imperial Academy, Qin Ming, who is known as the continent's second youngest spirit emperor, only reached a breakthrough to level 60 spirit power at around 30 years old. This Lan Chen's talent is even greater than Qin Ming's. Such a genius must be used by our Heaven Du imperial family. Let's leave it to King to handle. He is a disciple of Schoolmaster Ning. Let him act as a mediator between Schoolmaster Ning and Lan Chen. The Heaven Du Crown Prince personally stepping forward to resolve the conflict for that Lan Chen and mediate the dispute should be giving Lan Chen enough face. As he finished speaking, Zhu Yi had someone send this report to Crown Prince Zhu Qing's residence overnight. He believed that Zhu Qing could understand his intention, Crown Prince's residence. After reading the report, Zhu Qing also revealed a look of astonishment. To have level 69 spirit power at around 30 years old means that as long as Lan Chen does not fall, he will definitely be able to become a titled Duluo of the support system in the future. This is enough to shake the status of the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda as the continent's #1 support spirit. Tusk, such talent is truly astonishing. No wonder that teacher of mine would force Lan Chen to change his appearance and live under an assumed name. Such a genius should be used by me. It seems I must go to the Dugu residence tomorrow. Oh right, I also need to invite my teacher to come over. After all, it is to mediate the conflict between Lan Chen and him. Lu Chen would never have imagined that the disguise he initially created would, under the over-imagination of the 3 committee members, develop to the point it had reached today, with the misunderstanding growing deeper and deeper. Chapter 37. Schoolmaster Ning the next day. Dugu Yan still had to return to school. Dugu Bo felt sorry for his granddaughter and could not bear to see her walking, so he personally took Dugu Yan back to the Heaven Du Imperial Academy. At the same time, the Dugu residents in Heaven Du City welcomed 2 special groups of guests. The first was the current crown prince of the Heaven Du Empire, Zhu Qing. The second was Zhu Qing's teacher, the sect master of the 7-treasure glazed tile school, Ning Fengzhai. Upon seeing Ning Fengzhai, Zhu Qing beamed and walked up to him, taking the initiative to perform the disciples' salute. He was gentle and elegant, his attitude respectful. Teacher, I am sorry to trouble you with this trip today. Ning Fengzhai wore a moon-white robe made of extraordinary material. He had a scholarly and elegant temperament, a handsome appearance, and a faint, ever-present smile at the corners of his mouth. He did not dodge or avoid it, accepting Zhu Qing's salute. After all, Zhu Qing was currently the crown prince, not the emperor of the Heaven Du Empire. And as Zhu Qing's teacher, he was qualified to accept a salute from him. However, Ning Fengzhai was also very tactful. After accepting the salute, he immediately stepped forward to help him up, speaking in a gentle tone. Your Highness, there is no need for such formalities. After receiving Your Highness's message last night, I truly felt restless all night. My 7-treasure glazed tile school has always been kind to others, and I never expected that we would unintentionally cause such a huge misunderstanding with a genius spirit master. Forcing someone to change their appearance and hide their identity is my fault. If I can clear up this misunderstanding today, I am willing to apologize to him personally and provide appropriate compensation. The words sounded nice, but deep in Ning Fengzhai's heart, he felt extremely anxious. The speed at which a support soul master can cultivate is, to a certain extent, weaker than that of a battle spirit master. Yet that Lan Chen actually possessed level 69 spirit power at around 30 years old. Such talent was truly terrifying. As long as this person did not die, he would definitely become a titled Duluo of the support system. Once that time came, the status of the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda as the #1 support spirit on the continent would likely be completely lost. Just thinking about this made Ning Fengzhai feel anxious. He had indeed been restless all night after receiving the message last night. He hadn't expected that, despite his constant suppression, such a huge oversight would still occur. To let a support soul master grow to level 69 spirit power without a sound, Ning Fengzhai already harbored surging murderous intent towards Lan Chen. However, at the moment, both Emperor Zhu Yi and Crown Prince Zhu Qing intended to protect Lan Chen and bring him under the control of the Heaven Du Empire's royal family. Ning Fengzhai could not act too quickly. He could only wait for this storm to pass before finding an opportunity to send Gu Rong or Chen Xin to completely eliminate Lan Chen, this serious threat. On the surface, Ning Fengzhai naturally needed to maintain his persona. His face was full of guilt and self-reproach, and he sighed repeatedly, constantly reflecting on himself. This was Ning Fengzhai, seemingly kind to others, but actually ruthless. The 7-treasure glazed tile school was able to reach its current status, and he deserved much of the credit. Watching Ning Fengzhai blame himself so much, Zhu Qing's mouth twitched, but he still comforted him. Teacher, you don't need to blame yourself too much. After all, managing such a large 7-treasure glazed tile school, it is inevitable that some oversights will occur. We came here together today to clear up this misunderstanding. As long as we can provide compensation, I believe Lan Chen will forgive you. Ning Fengzhai nodded non-committally. I hope so. While the two were talking, a servant from the Crown Prince's residence stepped forward and knocked on the door. When the gate of the Dugu residence opened, Dugu Bo's butler walked out. The servant spoke neither servilely nor overbearingly, explaining that Zhu Qing and Ning Fengzhai had come to visit Lan Chen. This gave the butler a fright. One was the Crown Prince of the Heaven Dew Empire, and the other was the sect master of the 7-treasure glazed tile school. With these two coming to the door together, how could he, a mere butler, stop them? Since Dugu Bo was away, the butler could only carefully invite Zhu Qing and Ning Fengzhai into the mansion's living room, then hurriedly went to notify Lu Chen, not long after, in a guest room of the Dugu residence. After learning the ins and outs of the situation from the butler, Lu Chen couldn't help but look helpless. Douluo Continent was only so big. As long as he exposed his tracks in front of people, being targeted was only a matter of time, especially since he had come to Heaven Dew City. A Zhu Qing and a Ning Fengzhai were like sticky candy. He couldn't shake them off no matter how he tried. No choice. Might as well meet them. Fortunately, his spirit had already evolved from blue-silver grass to blue-silver king, and he had awakened the blue-silver domain. Relying on the disguise ability of the blue-silver domain, he had disguised himself. What he exposed to the outside world were all trivial matters. On the surface, he was just an unremarkable, 30-year-old, level 69 spirit emperor of the support system. If people knew that he was less than 10 years old and was already a level 69 spirit emperor, and that his spirit ring configuration was purple, 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 black, 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 then who knew how many people would want to come and silence him? It was fine for now. He had already proven his value to Dugu Bo. Dugu Bo would definitely protect him. As long as he held out until Dugu Bo returned, he wouldn't be in any danger. Immediately, led by the butler, Lu Chen went to the living room to meet Zhu Qing and Ning Fengzhai in the living room. Lu Chen walked in with a calm expression. The images of Zhu Qing and Ning Fengzhai were quite deeply ingrained in people's minds, so after Lu Chen entered, he recognized them both at a glance. A young man who appeared gentle and polite. It was Zhu Qing. A middle-aged man who looked scholarly and easygoing. It was Ning Fengzhai. After Lu Chen entered and was just about to speak, he suddenly felt a strong sense of malice which made the hair on his back stand up and his muscles tense up. Who was it? Lu Chen's gaze was like electricity, and he looked over instantly. He saw standing behind Ning Fengzhai a figure over 2 meters tall, looking tall and burly, but with no muscles, just a skeleton frame supporting it. This person had deep-set eye sockets, thin cheeks, sparse hair, and a very ugly face. At first glance, it looked like a skeleton ghost, Bone Duluo, Gu Rong. The moment Lu Chen saw this person, he thought of his identity. His heart tightened instantly. Compared to Chen Xin, who was still upright, Gu Rong was purely a villain. It was also during this period that there was only the term Fallen Spirit Master and no term Evil Spirit Master. Otherwise, Gu Rong would undoubtedly be an evil spirit master. Ning Fengzhai brought Gu Rong with him. It seems he has ill intentions towards me. Let Gu Rong recognize me first, and next time he will come to kill me. Lu Chen gritted his teeth and buried all his emotions deep in his heart. Now was not the time to turn against Ning Fengzhai and Gu Rong. He had to endure for now. However, Lu Chen had already noted this matter. After his strength improved in the future, he would definitely give the 7-treasure glazed tile school, Ning Fengzhai, and Gu Rong a big surprise. Lu Chen stopped looking at Gu Rong. Even though he felt his hair standing on end, he pretended that this person didn't exist, took the initiative to lower his posture, performed a salute, and said, "I am Lan Chen. Greetings, Your Highness, greetings, Schoolmaster Ning." Chapter 38, Refusing Recruitment, after Lu Chen took the initiative to greet them. Zhu King gave a light cough and gave Ning Fengzhai a look. They were here to resolve the conflict, so they shouldn't let this matter deepen the conflict between them even further. After receiving Zhu King's look, Ning Fengzhai said with apparent helplessness, "Uncle Bone." Following Ning Fengzhai's words, Gu Rong let out a huff, neither too light nor too heavy, and then withdrew his killing intent. He lifted his foot to walk to the side and plopped down onto a chair. He had already committed Lu Chen's aura to memory. Although Lu Chen had used a disguise, and that face was definitely fake, his aura could not be faked. By remembering Lu Chen's aura today, he would be able to kill him to silence him in the future. After Gu Rong withdrew his killing intent, Lu Chen finally shook off the feeling of being surrounded by malice. The killing intent of a titled Douluo, even now that Lu Chen had become a spirit emperor, still gave him a suffocating feeling. Unless he used his blue-silver domain to resist, he had no good way to cope with it at all. At this moment, Zhu King stood up, revealing a demeanor of showing respect to the worthy, and said with an apologetic expression, "Mr. Lan Chen, my teacher and I have come today to mediate the conflict between you and my teacher, so that you won't have to hide anymore in the future, and can openly use your true face and real name to roam the continent. Your talent and aptitude are among the best on the entire continent, which is enough to bring you status, wealth, and honor. Today, I represent the Heaven-Du Imperial family to invite Mr. Lan Chen to become a consultant for our Heaven-Du Imperial family." After hearing this, Lu Chen replied with a blank expression, "Mediate a conflict. I thought you came to give me a show of force." Presumably, this gentleman just now is one of the 2 guardian titled Douluo of the 7-treasure glazed tile school, the famous Bone Douluo. He is indeed unfathomable and makes one feel awe. A conflict? A small person like me, how would I dare to have a conflict with the 7-treasure glazed tile school? Your Highness the Crown Prince must have misunderstood. Zhu King wore an expression that said, "I already know everything," and spoke with a sincere tone. "Mr. Lan Chen, you don't need to be filled with life Kai anymore. Let's speak plainly. You are only around 30 years old, yet you have level 69 spirit power and you are a support soul master. No matter which power you go to, you will be warmly welcomed. But right now, you have to change your appearance and hide your name, not daring to use your true face or real name. This can only mean one thing: you have a conflict with my teacher. Today, I represent the Heaven-Du Imperial family to mediate the conflict between you two and invite Mr. Lan Chen to become a consultant for the Heaven-Du Imperial family. The rest of your life is still long. Mr. Lan Chen cannot dwell in the past forever. We should look to the future and think more about what's to come." Lu Chen finally realized. So, his disguising his true face was misunderstood by these people, as him having a conflict with the 7-treasure glazed tile school. Just because he was a support soul master, they all assumed he had been suppressed by Ning Fengzhai. Ning Fengzhai, oh Ning Fengzhai. Your reputation in the Heaven-Du Empire is truly well known. Is simply comparable to Duan Zhengshan on Shayashi Mountain. On Shayashi Mountain, when Zhezhu's mother refused to say who Zhezhu's father was, everyone looked at Duan Zhengshan. Now that he, a support soul master, had changed his appearance and hidden his name, he was assumed to have definitely been suppressed by Ning Fengzhai. One has to say, this Ning Fengzhai's reputation is quite solid. Lu Chen fell into silence. Previously, he didn't have any conflict with the 7-treasure glazed tile school. But now he did. With the talent he had displayed, Ning Fengzhai would definitely not let him go. Bringing Gu Rong along was proof of that. Zhu King probably counted on this point too. If he didn't listen to Zhu King and join the Heaven-Du Imperial family to become a consultant for the Heaven-Du Imperial family, he would inevitably face endless secret assassinations from the 7 treasure-glazed tile school. Anger rose in Lu Chen's heart. What did these people take him for? A chess piece that could be manipulated at will. He didn't want to join the Heaven-Du imperial family and become a chess piece to be driven by others. With his talent, he would be able to roam the continent freely in the future, and he was not willing to be controlled by others now. Facing Zhu King and Ning Fengzhai, Lu Chen spoke slowly. "Sorry, Your Highness the Crown Prince, I am used to being free and easy, and for the time being, I don't want to join any power. As for the conflict with Schoolmaster Ning, you have all misunderstood. There is no conflict between Schoolmaster Ning and me. A small person like me has never even met Schoolmaster Ning before, so how could I have a conflict with him? However, I still thank Your Highness the Crown Prince for your kindness. I have had a very pleasant conversation with Big Brother Dugu, and now we even address each other as brothers. If I happen to encounter trouble, Big Brother Dugu will naturally stand up for me." Bang! As soon as Lu Chen finished speaking, Gu Rong slammed the table. His gloomy eyes stared at Lu Chen without blinking, and he spoke with a fake smile. Don't be ungrateful. We came here today to resolve the conflict because we think highly of you. We gave you a choice, so you should accept it properly. You dare to refuse. If you refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit, I really want to kill you, and that old poison wouldn't be able to stop me. Don't think that by latching onto that old poison's leg, you can sit back and relax in the future. If I want to crush you to death, it's as simple as crushing an ant." Hearing Gu Rong's naked threat, Lu Chen's face was extremely cold. He lowered his head, his eyes filled with rage, again with this. These titled Duluo are truly high and mighty. Tang Hao back then, Gu Rong now, they are all the same. Relying on their powerful strength, they wantonly humiliate others. Lu Chen thought viciously in his heart. I haven't even taken revenge on the father and son Tang Hao and Tang San, and now Gu Rong also wants to join in the fun. Good, very good. When my strength becomes powerful in the future, I will definitely take revenge on them one by one. Strength. Fundamentally, it's still that my strength is insufficient. Just when Lu Chen decided to endure it for the time being, a powerful aura forcefully burst in from the courtyard outside. The owner of this aura was none other than Dugu Bo. Dugu Bo walked in with large strides. His gaze swept over Zhu King and Ning Fengzhai, and finally met Gu Rong's eyes. He stared at the other party with his sinister eyes and said in a cold voice, "Old Bone, you are taking advantage of my absence to bully the worthy brother I just recognized. This is really not taking me seriously at all. I admit that your strength is very strong, but I am definitely not someone to be trifled with. If you want to kill the worthy brother I recognized, you must first get past me. You wouldn't want to see me going to your 7 treasure glazed tile school and poisoning everything everywhere, would you?" Dugu Bo was also filled with life kai. He didn't expect that, just in the time it took to send his granddaughter to school, others would come to his home to bully him. These guys ran to his home and bullied his guests. This was not taking him, Dugu Bo, seriously. Although Dugu Bo only had level 91 spirit power, he was still a dignified, titled Duluo with pride and backbone. It was absolutely impossible for him not to fight back after being bullied. Furthermore, Dugu Bo still needed to rely on Lu Chen to detoxify himself, so he definitely could not watch Lu Chen get into trouble. Whoever wanted to touch Lu Chen, Dugu Bo would truly fight to the death. Chapter 39. Schemes from all sides facing Dugu Bo's forceful response. Gu Rong was not afraid in the slightest. He instantly stood up from his chair and stood face to face with Dugu Bo. A tyrannical aura erupted from within his body, clashing head-on with Dugu Bo and even suppressing Dugu Bo slightly. Gu Rong's expression was fierce, already prepared to take action, and he spoke with seething killing intent. "Old poison, do not think that just because we are both titled Duluo, you are truly my match, yet you dare to threaten the 7 treasure glazed tile school. Fengzhai, give me a boost. Today, this old man will wipe out Dugu Bo to prevent this old poison from causing trouble in the shadows in the future." Seeing that the 2 titled Duluo were about to fight, Ning Fengzhai hurriedly stood up and blocked the space between the two titled Duluo to mediate. As the sect master of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School, he naturally had to consider everything for the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. Dugu Bo was also a titled Duluo. Such an existence, if it could be avoided, was best not to be provoked. This kind of old poison, who was full of poison, if he couldn't be killed in one go, what if he escaped? If he were to sneak near the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School to poison them, then their Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School would never have a peaceful day again. Dugu Bo could poison a large swath of those low-rank spirit masters, spirit grandmasters, spirit elders, and spirit ancestors in an instant. Ning Fengzhai did not want to take the risk. Before he had absolute certainty, he would avoid conflict with Dugu Bo. Ning Fengzhai's voice was gentle yet dignified. Standing between the two titled Duluo, he spoke persuasively. Uncle Gu, restrain yourself. We came to resolve conflicts, not to make enemies. This is the residence of Your Excellency Dugu. We are guests. Coming to the host's territory and then fighting with the host, wouldn't that make us seem too overbearing? Furthermore, this is Heaven Du City, the capital of the Heaven Du Empire. His Highness the Crown Prince is here. If you break out in a fight here, how are we to explain it to the Crown Prince? How are we to explain it to His Majesty? Your Excellency Dugu, please rest assured, we come here with no ill intentions. We want to resolve the conflict with Mr. Lan Chen. A genius like this should serve the country, not just change his appearance, hide his name, and hide in a corner unknown to anyone. Ning Fengzhai's words were righteous and awe-inspiring, as if he were considering others in every aspect. Under his persuasion, both Dugu Bo and Gu Rong retracted their respective aura. Even though they didn't see eye to eye, they had no intention of taking action. This demonstrated Ning Fengzhai's ability to control the situation and his precise grasp of human nature. After resolving a potentially explosive conflict, Ning Fengzhai turned his gaze toward Lu Chen. Although in his heart he wished he could kill Lu Chen immediately on the surface, Ning Fengzhai acted perfectly. His face still carried an expression of guilt and self-reproach, and he spoke in an apologetic voice. Mr. Lan Chen, I believe you must have a misunderstanding about me and the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. Otherwise, you wouldn't have hidden your true appearance and true name. But please believe that those were all misunderstandings. Our Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School is large, and sometimes in management, it is inevitable that there will be some oversights, which may have unintentionally caused a conflict with you. Today, let us resolve this misunderstanding. This gold coin storage card contains 1 million gold coins, which you can withdraw at any bank on the continent. Consider it a small token of my sincerity. I hope that the next time we meet, I will be able to see Mr. Lan Chen restore his true appearance and true name, because that would mean you have forgiven us. Speaking of this, Ning Fengzhai took out a red gold coin storage card from his storage soul guidance device. Without any reluctance, he forced the gold coin storage card containing 1 million gold coins into Lu Chen's hand. That was 1 million gold coins, definitely not a small sum. But for Ning Fengzhai, a mere 1 million gold coins was not a large amount of money at all. As long as he could exchange it for a good reputation, even if these 1 million gold coins were thrown away, it would be worth it. Furthermore, in the future, as long as Lu Chen was eliminated, these 1 million gold coins would return to the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School in their original form. Ning Fengzhai would not lose anything at all. After giving the money, Ning Fengzhai left the place very freely under the guard of Gu Rong. After leaving the Dugu residence, Ning Fengzhai looked back, a glimmer of fierce light flashing in his eyes, and he used his spirit power to transmit his voice to Gu Rong. Uncle Gu, send people to watch Lan Chen. Even if Dugu Bo is willing to protect him, he can protect him for a while, but he cannot protect him for a lifetime. When this Lan Chen is alone, Uncle Gu, you personally take action, find a good burial spot, and send him on his way. On the Douluo Continent, it is absolutely forbidden for a support soul master more powerful than the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda Spirit Master to appear. Gu Rong sneered, a glimmer of gratification appearing in his eyes. In this world, there was nothing more pleasing than erasing a genius, and he also replied via voice transmission, "Fengzhai, rest assured. As long as this land Chen is alone, that will be the time he loses his life." Ning Fengzhai nodded with a smile. "By then, as long as the person is dead, no one will fuss with us over a dead person. Whether it is Dugu Bo or His Majesty and the Crown Prince, they will absolutely not fall out with us over a dead person. A dead genius has no value, meanwhile, in the living room of the Dugu residence." Zhu King took a deep look at Lu Chen and asked with extreme sincerity, "Mr. Lan Chen, do you really not consider becoming a consultant for our Heaven-Du imperial family?" Lu Chen shook his head with a smile and said, "Thank you for your kindness, Your Highness the Crown Prince. I will say the same thing again. I am used to being free and easy, and for the time being, I do not want to join any faction." Upon hearing this, Zhu King spoke, seemingly somewhat disappointed. "It is easy to add flowers to brocade, but difficult to provide charcoal in snowy weather. It is truly a pity that we were unable to extend a helping hand when Mr. Lan Chen needed it most, and now it is impossible to force Mr. Lan Chen to do things he is unwilling to do. But the door of our Heaven-Du imperial family is always open to Mr. Lan Chen. Whenever you have thought it through, you can come to the Crown Prince's residence at any time. I will always keep that consultant position for you." Speaking of this, Zhu King bid farewell to Dugu Bo and Lu Chen, and then left with the attendants of the Crown Prince's residence. For a support soul master like Lu Chen, who had the chance to become a titled Duluo, Zhu King would certainly not give up easily. However, he also understood that with Dugu Bo as his backer, Lu Chen would not easily join other factions. However, Zhu King understood his teacher, and his teacher would absolutely not let it go. Therefore, Zhu King prepared to wait until the next time when Lu Chen fell into danger, and then he would send people to help. At that time, recruiting Lu Chen would surely be much easier. Furthermore, Zhu King also wanted to test Lu Chen's abilities through Ning Fengzhai. Now he only knew that Lu Chen was a support spirit emperor with 69th rank spirit power. As for what his spirit was, and what his 6 spirit abilities were, he knew nothing about these situations. Zhu King did not yet have an accurate estimate of Lu Chen's value. It was just right to take this opportunity to test him. As long as Lu Chen demonstrated sufficient value, Zhu King would naturally send experts to save his life at a critical moment. Whether it was Ning Fengzhai or Zhu King, they seemed to have left, but in reality, their respective schemes had already been layered upon Lu Chen. Chapter 40. Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. Following the successive departures of Ning Fengzhai and Zhu King with their people, only Dugu Bo and Lu Chen remained in the living room. Lu Chen toyed with the gold coin stored value card in his hand, speaking coldly and expressionlessly. "This schoolmaster Ning is truly generous, 1 million gold coins just given away like that. However, I fear that while I might have the life to take this money, I won't have the life to spend it. At this moment, schoolmaster Ning is surely already plotting how to kill me." Dugu Bo plopped down onto a chair, appearing to heave a sigh of relief at this moment, although he had spoken very tough words when confronting Gu Rong. But deep down, he was actually anxious. After all, his strength was indeed inferior to Gu Rong's. If Ning Fengzhai were to provide amplification to Gu Rong, he would definitely be chased and beaten by Gu Rong in a fight. Dugu Bo glanced at the gold coin stored value card in Lu Chen's hand and asked curiously, "Are you hiding your true face and real name just to avoid the pursuit of the 7 treasure glazed tile school? You said back then that the person you offended was someone even I couldn't afford to provoke. Could it be the 7 treasure glazed tile schools, Sword Duluo and Bone Duluo? Those 2 are indeed terrifyingly strong. I am not their match in a one-on-one fight." Hearing this, Lu Chen's mouth twitched. He put away the gold coin stored value card. After all, it would be a waste not to take the money, and said with a wry smile, "That's just them guessing wildly. The person who had a grudge against me back then wasn't from the 7 treasure glazed tile school. It was someone else entirely. However, looking at the situation now, that schoolmaster Ning of the 7 treasure glazed tile school definitely cannot tolerate me, so this is effectively a grudge now. I never expected to be targeted by Schoolmaster Ning of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School just because of my identity as a support soul master. Dugu Bo's eyes widened immediately, and he supported his forehead with his hand, feeling a splitting headache over this. He said powerlessly, "That means you had already formed a grudge with a titled Duluo before, and now you've been targeted by the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School as well. It's over. These are no ordinary enemies. Just take the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School's Sword Duluo and Bone Duluo. I am not their match in a one-on-one, and if Ning Fengzhai were to provide support from the sidelines, I fear I would be beaten to death by them head-on. Not only will I be unable to protect you, but I'll also be dragged into this. Sigh, fine. Brother Lan Chen, you cured my granddaughter's poison, so I will never stand idly by. Even if it costs me my life, I will definitely keep you safe." Dugu Bo's temperament was both righteous and evil. He repaid grudges and gratitude alike. Lu Chen had shown him kindness, so Dugu Bo decided to repay that kindness, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. Upon hearing this, Lu Chen was somewhat moved. Although he had only known Dugu Bo for a few short days, he had slowly discovered that Dugu Bo was worth befriending. Hearing Dugu Bo's disheartened words, Lu Chen spoke to comfort him. "Big brother Dugu, you don't need to worry too much. We can't afford to provoke those people, but we can always hide, right? Give me a little more time. I am currently at level 69 spirit power. Once I reach level 70 spirit power and obtain my 7th spirit ring and martial soul avatar, my support abilities will definitely not be weaker than Ning Fengzhai's. Healing injuries, restoring stamina and spirit power, providing shields, detoxifying, all-attribute amplification, near-death bursts, my support abilities are very comprehensive. If Ning Fengzhai is worried that my rise will affect the status of 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda Spirit Masters, I can only say that his worries are well-founded. Plus, my spirit is not like the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, which can only attach 7 spirit rings. I can still obtain an 8th spirit ring and a 9th spirit ring. By then, my support abilities will sooner or later be able to pin the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda to the ground and rub it back and forth." Dugu Bo's eyes lit up. He looked at Lu Chen with burning eyes and nodded repeatedly in agreement. "Yes, you're right. We can't afford to provoke them, but we can afford to hide. This place has definitely been targeted by now. We will leave tonight. We'll use the cover of night to evade everyone's eyes and ears and lie low for a while. Once you obtain your 7th spirit ring and martial soul avatar, with your support, I will definitely be able to contend with the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School's Sword Duluo and Bone Duluo. In the Sunset Forest, I know a good place. It is where I have been in seclusion for many years, and outsiders don't know about it. It's the place you found last time, Brother Lan Chen. We will go there to hide." This Ning Fengzhai has always held the title of the continent's #1 support soul master. Now, I really want to see how wonderful his expression will be once you, Brother Lan Chen, become a spirit Duluo and a titled Duluo. The title of the world's #1 support soul master should change hands. Dugu Bo's tone became increasingly gloating by the end. At this moment, Lu Chen's eyes were also flashing with brilliance. The place Dugu Bo mentioned, wasn't it the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well? Under the pressure of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, Dugu Bo decided to take him to the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well to lie low. Could this be considered a blessing in disguise? The Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. That was a must-visit location for anyone who had transmigration to the Douluo Continent. It possessed rich ice and fire energy, was extremely suitable for plant growth, and had a great number of immortal herbs and poisonous plants. If he could eat 1 or 2 immortal herbs, Lu Chen would definitely be able to break through to level 70 spirit power faster. Moreover, it could strengthen his origin, consolidate his foundation, and would be entirely beneficial without any harm to him. Lu Chen suppressed the excitement in his heart and spoke as calmly as possible. "Then I'll trouble you, big brother Dugu. We will leave the city tonight under the cover of darkness, and after evading those eyes and ears, we will temporarily lie low in the Sunset Forest. It just so happens that in the coming period, I still need to detoxify you, big brother Dugu, and I need to find a quiet place. After the two had finished discussing, everything remained normal during the day. When night fell, Dugu Bo and Lu Chen left Heaven Dew City quietly, without alerting anyone, and evaded all eyes and ears. After traveling, they soon entered the Sunset Forest. Under Dugu Bo's guidance, it was also Lu Chen's first time stepping into the valley where the ice and fire yin-yang well was located. Upon entering this valley, Lu Chen immediately sensed that the surroundings were permeated with rich ice and fire energy. He looked forward and saw that immortal herbs and poisonous plants of various shapes and sizes were growing everywhere on the ground. The quantity was staggering. The deeper they went into the valley, the greater the number of immortal herbs and poisonous plants became. And right in the depths of the valley, there was a pool of red and white spring water. The two colors of spring water were clearly demarcated in the spring eye. The red spring water gave off a feeling of intense heat, while the white spring water gave off a feeling of chilling cold. The two spring waters with completely opposite forces had strangely converged into one spring eye. This is the ice and fire Mandarin duck pot. No, it's the ice and fire yin-yang well. Lu Chen clicked his tongue in wonder at the sight. After bringing Lu Chen in, Dugu Bo thoughtfully instructed. Brother Lan Chen, the ice and fire energy in this valley is extremely violent. Staying too long can easily cause one to explode and die. If you can't hold on, go to the forest outside to ease up. Additionally, many medicinal herbs grow here, but there is no shortage of deadly poisonous plants among them. Although you have detoxification abilities, don't touch them lightly, lest you encounter some fatal poisonous plant and lose your life inadvertently. Also, regarding the spring eye in the depths of the valley, the red spring water is extremely hot, and the white spring water is extremely cold. Don't be curious and touch it, that will also cost you your life. Chapter 41. Choosing Immortal Herbs Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. Lu Chen looked at the immortal herbs covering the ground and suddenly said, Big brother Dugu, among the plants growing in this valley, there are many medicinal materials of the immortal herb level. Can I pick them to consume? Hearing this, Dugu Bo's expression turned serious, and he warned sternly, Little brother, it is not that this old man is stingy. I have already told you just now that among these medicinal herbs, many are deadly poisonous. Even if you have the ability to detoxify, do not rashly touch those herbs. If you happen to touch some deadly poisonous herb, you won't even have the chance to use your spirit ability to detoxify. Subscribe for more amazing novel audiobooks. Don't forget to like, comment, and share infinite novel audio. Lu Chen explained confidently, Big brother Dugu can rest assured. Do you remember me telling you that my spirit is special and can resonate with plants? It was relying on this ability that I found the vicinity of this valley. I can communicate directly with these plants through my spirit. I can still distinguish which are immortal herbs and which are poisonous herbs. I will only eat 1 or 2 immortal herbs. I will absolutely not touch those poisonous herbs. I still cherish my own life very much. Hearing Lu Chen say this, Dugu Bo was also greatly astonished. There was actually someone who could communicate directly with plants through their spirit. Dugu Bo thought to himself, I have already seen my little brother's spirit last time. It is crystal clear and does not look like a plant at all. Instead, it resembles jade. The life aura it emits makes even me feel refreshed. It must undoubtedly be a top-tier plant spirit, which is why it can communicate with plants. After all, one of my little brother's spirit abilities can even neutralize the jade phosphor serpent poison. This is definitely not something an ordinary spirit can do. Thinking of this, Dugu Bo nodded and agreed. Since you have this ability, then I won't worry about you. This old man doesn't even recognize all the herbs in this valley. As long as you find herbs that are useful to you, feel free to consume them if you want. You neutralized the jade phosphor serpent poison on Yan Yan, and I haven't properly thanked you yet. A few herbs are nothing. Even if they are immortal herbs, they are not worth mentioning. Dugu Bo was very generous, letting Lu Chen pick the immortal herbs of the ice and fire yin-yang well. Lu Chen was all smiles, his heart filled with joy beyond measure. Suddenly, He seemed to think of something and looked at Dugu Bo, saying, "Big brother Dugu, speaking of Yan Yan, she is still at Heaven Du Imperial Academy. Do you want to bring Yan Yan here to avoid the limelight too?" The two of us ran out of Heaven Du City under the cover of night. Once those eyes and ears realize it tomorrow, whether it is the crown prince of the Heaven Du Empire, Zhu King, or the sect master of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School, Ning Fengzhai, I am afraid they will not let this rest. It is very likely that they will turn their attention to Yan Yan. Even if they don't take action against Yan Yan, they will definitely monitor her closely, hoping to find our whereabouts through her. In that case, Yan Yan will be in danger. Taking advantage of the fact that the news hasn't been passed back yet, picking up Yan Yan as soon as possible can also avoid certain bad things from happening. Dugu Bo's complexion changed instantly. A monstrous aura erupted from his body. Dugu Yan was Dugu Bo's only living relative in the world. If anyone dared to touch Dugu Yan, Dugu Bo would fight them to the death. Hearing Lu Chen's speculation, Dugu Bo's expression showed a trace of ferocity, and he said sternly, "Let's see who dares to touch my granddaughter. I will definitely fight them to the death." For the sake of Dugu Bo and himself, Lu Chen could not let Dugu Yan stay outside alone, so he added more fuel to the fire. "Big brother Dugu, it's better to be safe than sorry. What if the people from the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School cannot find our tracks? To make up for their faults and avoid punishment, they might go to Heaven Du Imperial Academy to monitor Yan Yan, or even capture her. We have to be on guard." Lu Chen's words became the last straw that broke the camel's back. Dugu Bo would not watch Dugu Yan suffer even the slightest accident. His expression became firm, and he finally made up his mind, saying, "Little brother, be careful in this valley yourself. I will take advantage of the fact that it is not yet dawn to rush to Heaven Du Imperial Academy and bring Yan Yan over. You are right, it is better to be safe than sorry. I cannot gamble with Yan Yan. She is my only precious granddaughter. For a short time, we will avoid the limelight first. Wait until you break through to the 70th level of spirit power and hunt a spirit beast to obtain your 7th spirit ring. With your assistance, I should have the power to fight against Sword Duluo and Bone Duluo of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. At that time, there will be no need to hide." After these words fell, Dugu Bo hurriedly soared into the sky. As his figure flashed rapidly, he left the valley in a few breaths and rushed towards Heaven Du Imperial Academy. After Dugu Bo left, only Lu Chen remained in the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. He turned around and looked at the vast Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well, his eyes shining. Blue-Silver Domain. Lu Chen activated the Blue-Silver Domain. An invisible fluctuation spread rapidly with him as the center, quickly covering the entire Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. In an instant, in this Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well, all kinds of immortal herbs swayed their bodies within the Blue-Silver Domain, swallowing and refining the life aura attached to the Blue-Silver Domain. Threads of faint consciousness were transmitted to Lu Chen's mind through the network of the Blue-Silver Domain. He listened to the voice of every immortal herb. Every immortal herb in this Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well was no less than a 10,000-year spirit beast. Unfortunately, due to their body structure, the process of them developing consciousness was extremely difficult. Lu Chen listened to the voices of these immortal herbs through the Blue-Silver Domain, and discovered that the consciousness of these immortal herbs was simply like that of a 3-year-old child, ignorant and very pure. Because of the life aura attached to Lu Chen's Blue-Silver Domain, these immortal herbs had a very good impression of Lu Chen. Under Lu Chen's intentional questioning, these immortal herbs quickly confessed everything they needed to. What were their names? What kind of medicinal properties did they have? Precautions for picking, precautions for taking them. A series of information, such as this, was quickly mastered by Lu Chen. Octagonal mysterious ice grass, fiery apricot delicate flower, Yaoxiang Kiluo immortal herb. Kaiyang Tongshan chrysanthemum, 8-petal immortal orchid, Kiluo tulip, coxcomb phoenix sunflower, narcissus jade mussel bone yearning heartbroken red, looking through autumn water dew dragon origin fruit, Hunyuan immortal herb. The number of immortal herbs in this ice and fire yin-yang well exceeded Lu Chen's imagination. When he read the book in his previous life, the immortal herbs he knew were only a part of them. There were even more immortal herbs that were not introduced too much in the original plot. Thanks to having already awakened the blue-silver domain, Lu Chen could directly communicate with these immortal herbs through the blue-silver domain to know their names and medicinal properties. Lu Chen looked at these numerous immortal herbs and gradually became a bit dazzled. For a moment, he didn't know which immortal herb to eat. If I want to quickly increase my spirit power, I could eat the Hunyuan immortal herb. But with my golden finger where I get stronger just by breathing, I don't need immortal herbs to increase my spirit power. If I want to evolve my spirit and improve its toughness, I could eat the ink jade divine bamboo, but my blue-silver king spirit is inclined towards support rather than combat, so improving the spirit's toughness is really not very suitable. Currently, the most important thing for me is to absorb the 7th spirit ring. That is the key to unlocking the martial soul avatar, and the 7th spirit ring I have reserved is that 85,000-year-old blue-silver king in the blue-silver forest. Only the 9th spirit ring of some titled Duluo would absorb an 85,000-year-old spirit ring. If I want to absorb an 85,000-year-old spirit ring as my 7th spirit ring, physical fitness and soul strength are extremely critical issues. It seems I cannot afford to be picky. I will consume the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower, use the power of water and fire to forge a Vajra body, and then take the looking through autumn water due to greatly increase my mental force. With these two prerequisites, I will have absolute certainty in successfully absorbing the 85,000-year-old spirit ring of the blue-silver king. If nothing goes wrong, I will obtain a most perfect martial soul avatar ability and even promote the evolution of my spirit again, allowing my blue-silver king spirit to evolve into a true blue-silver emperor martial soul. Chapter 42. Water and Fire Tempering the Golden Body. After a moment of consideration, Lu Chen made his decision. His expression became firm for him at the moment. Increasing spirit power or evolving his spirit were not the most critical things. The most critical thing was to absorb that 85,000-year blue-silver king spirit ring. To this end, absorbing the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower to temper his physique, and absorbing the looking through autumn water due to strengthen his soul, became the most cost-effective choice. Having made his decision, Lu Chen no longer hesitated. He took off the silver bracelet storage soul guidance device on his hand and threw it onto the ground to the side, then took off his coat and threw it onto the ground as well. Absorbing the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower required jumping into the ice and fire yin-yang well to assist in the absorption. Neither the storage soul guidance device nor the clothes he was wearing could withstand the extreme heat and extreme cold power of the ice and fire yin-yang well. To avoid damage to his belongings, Lu Chen took off the storage soul guidance device and his coat in advance. Then, Lu Chen walked towards the octagonal mysterious ice grass, and according to the method it had told him, he plucked the octagonal mysterious ice grass without damaging its roots. Subsequently, Lu Chen walked towards the fiery apricot delicate flower, and just as before, according to the method it had told him, he plucked the fiery apricot delicate flower without damaging its roots. After picking the immortal herb, Lu Chen let out a long breath. Octagonal mysterious ice grass, fiery apricot delicate flower. They were both immortal herbs and deadly poisonous plants. The extreme heat and extreme cold power they contained were of the same origin as this ice and fire yin-yang well. If there was even the slightest mistake, that extreme heat and extreme cold power would invade his body. Even though Lu Chen had a full set of recovery spirit ability, while there would be no danger to his life, he would still suffer greatly. Lu Chen, being perfectly fine, did not want to suffer that kind of ordeal, the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower, both immortal herbs have been picked. I did not damage their roots. In a treasure land like the ice and fire yin-yang well, they should be able to grow back in about 100 years. Now is the time to absorb the two immortal herbs. Water and fire tempering the golden body. I hope you do not disappoint me, and will temper a powerful physique capable of containing an 85,000-year spirit ring for me. Thinking of this, Chen summoned his blue-silver king spirit, activated 2 blue-silver vines, and extended them left and right to wrap around the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower. Almost instantly, a layer of frost formed on the blue-silver vines that wrapped around the octagonal mysterious ice grass. At the same time, the blue-silver vines that wrapped around the fiery apricot delicate flower were scorched pitch black. Chen felt a shiver in his heart as he watched, exclaiming at how overbearing the extreme heat and extreme cold power was. Immediately, with a thought from Chen, the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower were pulled in front of him by the 2 blue-silver vines. The moment the 2 immortal herbs touched, the extreme heat power and extreme cold power erupted immediately, eroding towards each other. What was strange was that the 2 powers did not conflict. Instead, they merged together, reaching a neutralized state. Now is the time. The extreme cold power of the octagonal mysterious ice grass neutralized the extreme heat power of the fiery apricot delicate flower, and the extreme heat power of the fiery apricot delicate flower neutralized the extreme cold power of the octagonal mysterious ice grass. Chen moved quickly, grabbing the octagonal mysterious ice grass in one hand and the fiery apricot delicate flower in the other, stuffing them into his mouth and chewing vigorously. He swallowed the 2 immortal herbs almost whole. In less than 3 breaths, the medicinal power of the 2 immortal herbs began to take effect. Chen's skin flickered between red and white, and inside his body, he felt alternately as hot as if he were in magma and as cold as if he were in a glacier. Under the interweaving of these 2 forces, Chen felt incredibly uncomfortable. He pushed off hard with his feet, his figure leaping up, and he jumped towards the ice and fire yin-yang well. With a splash, he dove headfirst into the ice and fire yin-yang well. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. As Chen jumped into the ice and fire yin-yang well, the yang spring, hot as magma, and the cold spring, cold as ice marrow, instantly enveloped him. The 2 diametrically opposed forces pressed against Chen's body, making him truly experience the feeling of heaven and hell of ice and fire. Fortunately, at this moment, the extreme heat and extreme cold power of the 2 immortal herbs that were raging back and forth inside his body timely protected his internal flesh, bones, organs, and meridians, preventing him from being scalded or frozen by the yang spring and cold spring of the ice and fire yin-yang well. At the same time, under the suppression of the external pressure brought by the yang spring and cold spring, various organs in Chen's body began to accelerate the absorption of the medicinal power of the 2 immortal herbs. In the original plot, when Tang San absorbed the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower, he was merely a spirit elder. Although he successfully absorbed the 2 immortal herbs, during the process, the extreme heat and extreme cold power of the 2 immortal herbs tortured him to the brink of death. Now, Chen was much stronger than Tang San. As a 6-ring spirit emperor, and having absorbed spirit rings beyond his limits every time, this had greatly tempered his physique. At the same time, his spirit power of up to level 69 allowed him to absorb the medicinal power of the 2 immortal herbs with even greater ease. Whoosh, 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 the extreme cold power of the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the extreme heat power of the fiery apricot delicate flower were washing back and forth inside Chen's body. The 2 diametrically opposed forces swept through Chen's entire body in turns. This was torture, but also tempering Chen's body, under the ravages of the 2 diametrically opposed extreme forces, gradually became covered in wounds, with frostbite added after scalds. However, with the absorption of the medicinal power of the immortal herbs, his wounded body was being rapidly repaired, and, through the tempering, became even stronger. In the process of repair, the extreme cold power of the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the extreme heat power of the fiery apricot delicate flower also merged into his body. His flesh, his bones, his organs, his meridians. If he were to look inside, Chen would find that those body organs that had absorbed the two powers of extreme heat and extreme cold were flickering with a faint, shimmering golden light, water and fire tempering the golden body. Chen could clearly perceive that his physique was rapidly becoming stronger. Although this process was painful, becoming stronger was extremely pleasurable. Overall, Chen was in pain and happy at the same time. During this process, Chen's spirit power was extremely active, like a rushing river, surging forward rapidly within his meridians, allowing him to accelerate the absorption of the two extreme powers of extreme heat and extreme cold. Pop. As if breaking through some bottleneck, the spirit power in Chen's body naturally broke through the level 70 barrier from level 69 in one fell swoop. This was an unexpected joy. Absorbing the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower would not, in itself, increase spirit power. But during the process of absorbing the immortal herbs, Chen's spirit power circulation accelerated, which, by a stroke of luck, allowed him to successfully increase his spirit power by one level. After Chen broke through to level 70 spirit power, he would be able to absorb the 7th spirit ring and become a 7-ring spirit saint. And Chen's two great spirits, the Blue Silver King and the Black Iron Sickle. Under the repeated tempering of the two extreme powers of extreme heat and extreme cold, his two great spirits had both gained quite a few benefits. The Blue Silver King successfully obtained the ability of ice and fire immunity. Although his Blue Silver King was not used for fighting, the ice and fire immunity ability was still helpful to him. The Black Iron Sickle was originally just the most ordinary spirit, but under such tempering, it seemed as if all impurities had been forged away. The blade flashed with a chilling cold light, and its sharpness was enough to make one shudder. Unknowingly, 3 hours had passed. After 3 hours of absorption, most of the medicinal power of the two immortal herbs, the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower, had already been completely absorbed by Chen's body. The remaining medicinal power also settled within his body. It could be gradually and completely absorbed as he continued to cultivate strength. It surged up continuously. Chen opened his eyes. The pain brought by the two extreme powers of extreme heat and extreme cold had all disappeared, and now he only felt refreshed. Chen waved his fist. The explosive power within his body made him feel invigorated. With such a powerful physique, it was now enough to absorb that 85,000-year spirit ring. Chapter 43. A solution to the spirit defect inside the ice and fire yin-yang well. Chen stretched. He had successfully absorbed the medicinal power of two immortal herbs and was feeling very comfortable, wanting to laugh out loud. However, as soon as he opened his mouth, he choked on the spring water. He coughed violently twice and hurriedly closed his mouth. Now he finally quieted down. He raised his head, using both hands and feet, and swam towards the surface. The yang spring water of the ice and fire yin-yang well was originally as hot as magma, but for Chen now, he only felt a warmth. The cold spring water of the ice and fire yin-yang well was originally as cold as ice marrow, but for Chen now, he only felt a coolness. This spring water, containing extreme heat and extreme cold, could no longer harm Chen's body in the slightest. But Chen's clothes and pants had been completely destroyed by the yang and cold springs. Chen was soaking naked in the spring water, and now he wanted to return to the shore as soon as possible to take out a new set of clothes and pants to put on. Meanwhile, outside the ice and fire yin-yang well, following Chen's reminder, Dugu Bo, who had gone to the Heaven Dew Imperial Academy, had picked up Dugu Yan and brought her back to the ice and fire yin-yang well. Dugu Bo brought Dugu Yan back to the valley, only to find it empty. Dugu Bo widened his eyes in shock and began to search everywhere for traces of Chen. Where is he, such a big person? How could he just disappear? Dugu Bo searched inside and outside the valley, finally arriving at the location of the ice and fire yin-yang well. He looked at the silver bracelet storage soul guidance device on the shore, as well as the set of clothes Chen had been wearing. Dugu Bo looked at the ice and fire yin-yang well in disbelief. His heart was about to collapse. Brother Chen, why didn't you listen to my advice? This pool of red and white spring water, the yang spring is incredibly hot, and the cold spring is extremely cold. Even I wouldn't dare to step into it easily. For your sake, I have already made an enemy of the 7 treasure glazed tile school, going head-to-head with Ning Fengzhai and Bone Duluo. Now, I can only hide in the depths of this sunset forest with my granddaughter. I was waiting for you to become a 7-ring spirit saint, so you could assist me in a fight against Bone Duluo, so that Bone Duluo would never dare to look down on me again. Now that you're gone just like that, you've ended your troubles, but what are my granddaughter and I supposed to do in the future? Dugu Bo was so angry that he beat his chest and stomped his feet. He felt immense regret. He shouldn't have left Chen alone in the valley. Now it was done for. Chen, ignorant and fearless, had jumped into this red and white spring water and must certainly be reduced to nothing by now. Dugu Bo's heart was truly collapsing. The jade phosphor serpent poison in his body had not yet been completely neutralized. Although the jade phosphor serpent poison in his granddaughter's body had been neutralized, as her cultivation level increased in the future, the deadly poison would sooner or later return, and it would still require Chen to detoxify it time and time again. Now it was all over. Dugu Bo regretted it so much that his intestines turned green. He shouldn't have brought Chen to such a dangerous place. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Just as Dugu Bo was howling in grief, bubbles suddenly appeared in the red and white spring water in front of him. Dugu Bo was also startled and immediately lowered his head to look. Then he saw a figure emerge from the water. It was none other than the disguised Chen. Seeing this, Dugu Bo's eyes went wide, and he pointed his finger at Chen in astonishment. Brother Chen, you aren't dead yet. This is impossible. The extreme heat and extreme cold of this red and white spring water are things even I cannot withstand. How did you endure it? Chen had heard everything Dugu Bo said while under the spring water. To tell the truth, Chen was still very moved. Regardless of his motives, that was Dugu Bo's most direct concern for him. Chen didn't rush to get ashore. He soaked in the ice and fire yin-yang well and explained to Dugu Bo on the shore. Brother Dugu, you forgot what I told you. I can communicate with plants through my spirit. After communicating, I learned information about these immortal herbs. Finally, I ate 2 immortal herbs, the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower. Both immortal herbs were nourished by this spring water, and only by soaking in this spring water can one better absorb the medicinal power of the immortal herbs. Now, under the nourishment of the immortal herbs, my physique is even stronger, and I have obtained a body immune to water and fire. That is the reason I can soak in this spring water. At the end, Chen paused and said somewhat embarrassedly, Brother Dugu, why don't you take Yan Yan to avoid this for a moment? Although my body is not harmed by the spring water, my clothes and pants have been destroyed. With Yan Yan staring here, I'm too embarrassed to get ashore. Upon hearing this, Dugu Bo suddenly realized. He turned his head and saw, sure enough, Dugu Yan looking with great curiosity at the naked Chen soaking in the spring water. Dugu Bo's face darkened instantly. He hurriedly walked over, grabbed Dugu Yan, and walked away. Yan Yan, don't look. We came back at the wrong time. Let's come back later after your grandpa Chen comes out of the red and white spring water and puts on his clothes and pants. Dugu Yan, who was being dragged away by Dugu Bo, kept looking back from time to time, her face showing a lingering interest. Because Dugu Yan discovered that Chen's physique was very good. Broad shoulders and a narrow waist with well-defined muscles, each one full of explosive power, and his whole body exuding immense masculine charm. Coupled with the body refining of water and fire, his skin was very delicate, emitting a faint, jade-like luster, which made Dugu Yan feel a little excited. After Dugu Yan was dragged away by Douluo, Chen finally breathed a sigh of relief and quickly returned to the shore. He picked up his silver bracelet storage soul guidance device, took out a brand new set of clothes, pants, and shoes, quickly dressed himself efficiently, and put the storage soul guidance device back on his hand. He took out a cord to tie up his long hair. After tidying himself up from head to toe, Chen strode towards the location of Douluo and Dugu Yan. Through the events of this period, especially Douluo bringing Chen to the ice and fire yin-yang well, Chen increasingly approved of Douluo. Therefore, Chen did not intend to enjoy these immortal herbs all by himself. He planned to instruct Douluo and Dugu Yan to each consume an immortal herb to help them advance further. Now that he and Douluo were completely bound together, the stronger Douluo's strength was, the more guaranteed his own safety would be. Before long, Chen found Douluo and Dugu Yan. He smiled and said, "I've made Brother Dugu worry. This medicinal garden of yours is simply a uniquely gifted treasure land. With these numerous immortal herbs, just one can allow a spirit master to be reborn and completely transform. I ate 2 immortal herbs and felt that I benefited a lot. With Brother Dugu possessing such a treasure land, I have already thought of how to help you completely solve the problem of the Jade Phosphor Serpent Poison's backlash. The backlash of the Jade Phosphor Serpent Poison is a defect of the spirit. For spirit masters of your Jade Phosphor Snake lineage, after attaching a highly poisonous spirit ring to the Jade Phosphor Snake spirit, you need to use martial soul possession to exert combat ability. It should be during the process of possession that the body and spirit fuse with each other, causing the poison of the spirit to enter the body. To solve this problem, I currently have 2 methods. First, use a spirit bone to force all the poisonous toxins that have invaded the body into the spirit bone. In the future, using the spirit bone to store the poison will be able to prevent the poison from invading the limbs, bones, and internal organs. But this method also has certain drawbacks. If your strength becomes stronger and stronger, the accumulated poison will also become more and more, and one spirit bone will not be enough to contain this poison. In the future, you will need to collect more spirit bones. Second, promote the evolution of the spirit. If the Jade Phosphor Snake spirit can suppress those toxins on its own and not let the poison invade the body during possession, then you will have no worries about your life. Spirit evolution is originally a matter full of difficulties, but with these immortal herbs covering the entire valley, as long as you absorb 1 or 2, it can promote the evolution of your spirits. In this way, you can completely get rid of the problem of the Jade Phosphor Serpent Poison's backlash. Chapter 44, Dragon Origin Fruit. As soon as Chen spoke these words, Douluo's originally calm expression suddenly became quite colorful. In a flash, he arrived before Chen, his hands pressing firmly onto Chen's shoulders like iron pincers. Douluo stared at Chen with burning eyes, his voice trembling with an excitement he could hardly suppress. "Brother Chen, you are a genius. You are truly the smartest person this old man has ever met. How did I never think of using a spirit bone to store the poison? But you are right. As my spirit power increases and the poison accumulates, a single spirit bone definitely won't be able to contain it all. A titled Duluo like me would need at least 2, or even 3 spirit bones to ensure the poison doesn't erode my body. As for the spirit evolution," at this point, Douluo paused, his brow furrowed gradually, and his tone became hesitant. "My spirit, the Jade Phosphor Snake, already evolved into the Jade Phosphor Serpent the day I became a titled Duluo. A single stalk of herb, even if it's some kind of immortal herb, cannot possibly cause my spirit to undergo another evolution. In this lifetime, I can probably only use the first method you mentioned, using spirit bones to store the poison. As long as the poison doesn't erode my body, my life won't be in danger." Douluo's expression became firm, and a glimmer of hope appeared in those emerald-green eyes. He said earnestly, "But Yan Yan's strength is still weak. She is only a spirit elder. If she could consume an immortal-grade herb, perhaps it really could evolve her spirit, allowing her to completely escape the fate of the jade phosphor serpent poison backwashing into her body. Brother Lan Chen, I leave everything to you. Your spirit can communicate with plants. Please, you must select an immortal-grade herb suitable for Yan Yan." Dugu Bao had already resigned himself to his own fate, but he wanted to fight for his granddaughter. After all, Dugu Yan was his only living relative in this world. Under Dugu Bao's intense gaze, Lu Chen pulled back his smile and nodded very solemnly. "Big brother Dugu, rest assured, I will definitely pick the most suitable immortal herb for Yan Yan." While speaking, Lu Chen broke free from Dugu Bao's grip and looked toward Dugu Yan. "Yan Yan, come with me. Let's go select an immortal herb. By the way, there are many immortal herbs here. Any one of them can transform a person, allowing an ordinary spirit master to leap into the ranks of a genius spirit master. Once word gets out, the other spirit masters on the continent and those major powers will absolutely go mad for them. Big brother Dugu, Yan Yan, and I would likely never know peace again. For our future peace, the existence of these immortal-grade herbs filling this valley must remain known only to the heavens, the earth, and the three of us. It must absolutely not be revealed to a fourth person." Dugu Bao and Dugu Yan were both people who understood the gravity of the situation. Hearing Lu Chen's words and thinking of the terrifying consequences, they both couldn't help but nod. Afterward, Lu Chen led Dugu Bao and Dugu Yan back to the location of the ice and fire yin-yang well. The closer they got to the well, the better the quality and medicinal effects of the immortal-grade herbs growing there. After a moment's thought, Lu Chen pointed to a unique plant and introduced it. Among the immortal-grade herbs nearby, some strengthen the physique and some increase spirit power, but none are what Yan Yan needs most. What Yan Yan needs most is to evolve her spirit and escape the spirit defect of the jade phosphor serpent poison backwash. Therefore, I recommend this immortal herb, the dragon origin fruit. Based on my communication with it, I know this herb grew from the corpse of a great dragon. Generally speaking, only in a place where a great dragon is buried, by absorbing the essence of the dragon's entire body, is there a chance for a dragon origin fruit to form. This immortal herb is extraordinary. Ordinary people, even if they uprooted the whole plant, could not pluck the dragon origin fruit. Only someone possessing dragon clan bloodline can drop their blood onto this dragon origin fruit to gain its recognition. Only then will the fruit fall off on its own, and only the one recognized can absorb its medicinal power. The jade phosphor snake is also rumored to be a type of dragon species. If Yan Yan's blood can gain the recognition of the dragon origin fruit and absorb its power, it would be equivalent to absorbing the entire essence of a great dragon. As long as she evolves into a dragon, that kind of terrifying, heaven-reaching spirit will surely be able to suppress the spirit defect of the poison backwash. Yan Yan, give it a try. In my view, this dragon origin fruit is the most suitable immortal herb for you. If you can't get its recognition, we'll look at other immortal-grade herbs. The immortal-grade herb Lu Chen recommended was one that had not appeared in the original story. However, ordinary people couldn't pluck this herb. Only those with Dragon Clan bloodline had a chance. Although Tang San possessed the blue-silver emperor bloodline, it had nothing to do with the Dragon Clan. Likely for this reason, he couldn't pluck the dragon origin fruit, so it wasn't even mentioned in the original plot. This ice and fire yin-yang well was actually the burial ground of the Ice Dragon King and Fire Dragon King. This dragon origin fruit, even if it didn't gather all the essence of the two Dragon Kings, inheriting even a portion would be enough to evolve Dugu Yan's spirit from a jade phosphor snake into a jade phosphorus dragon. After listening to Lu Chen's introduction, the attention of both Dugu Bao and Dugu Yan was drawn to the dragon origin fruit. The trunk of the dragon origin fruit tree was not particularly tall or thick, only about 1/2 meter high and as thick as an adult's arm. The bark appeared extremely rough, showing a simple blue-gray color. Its branches were lush and leafy, looking full of vibrant vitality. At the very top of the dragon origin fruit tree hung a purple fruit the size of a fist. The fruit was full and round, its skin etched with dense patterns that, when connected, formed the image of a great dragon roaring towards the heavens. Roar. The pattern was lifelike, and a soul-shaking roar seemed to truly emanate from the fruit. Dugu Yan's small face instantly turned pale. Her eyes revealed a hint of terror, and she involuntarily took a few steps back. It was Dugu Bo who acted in time, pressing his hand on Dugu Yan's shoulder to prevent her from falling. Dugu Yan panted in small breaths. She had truly been a bit frightened just now. Dugu Yan turned her head to look at her grandfather. Seeing this, Dugu Bo nodded with a firm expression. Gaining Dugu Bo's encouragement, Dugu Yan steadied her mind and looked at Lu Chen, asking, "Grandpa Lan Chen, is it enough to just drop blood onto the dragon origin fruit?" Lu Chen nodded and confirmed, "Use the essence blood from the tip of your tongue. Spit out a few drops onto the dragon origin fruit. Whether you can obtain its recognition depends on the will of heaven." Hearing that she needed to use essence blood from her tongue, Dugu Yan grit her teeth. Finally, she endured the pain, bit the tip of her tongue, and spat out a few drops of essence blood permeated with spirit power fluctuations. The blood dripped onto the dragon-shaped pattern of the dragon origin fruit. In just a few breaths, those drops of bright red essence blood were completely absorbed by the dragon origin fruit, and the dragon pattern upon it erupted with an eerie light. Meanwhile, Lu Chen used his blue-silver domain to begin communicating with the dragon origin fruit's nascent consciousness. He hurried to do some ideological work, using a mix of coaxing and deception to get it to recognize Dugu Yan. Although Lu Chen said it depended on heaven's will, he would certainly help where he could. After all, Dugu Yan was currently calling him Grandpa. To this end, Lu Chen put in quite a bit of effort through Lu Chen's coaxing, and the fact that Dugu Yan's essence blood carried the aura of the jade phosphor snake spirit, which, as a dragon species, barely met the requirements. The fruit responded. Although the dragon origin fruit wasn't very satisfied with Dugu Yan's aptitude, for the sake of Lu Chen's face, it trembled slightly a few times before falling off the branch on its own. It didn't fall to the ground, but instead tumbled into Dugu Yan's arms. Holding the purple fruit in her hands, Dugu Yan cheered and jumped with joy. Grandpa Lan Chen, look. This dragon origin fruit recognized me." Watching the cheering Dugu Yan, Dugu Bo praised her with a face full of doting. "Yan Yan, you're amazing." Dugu Bo then looked at Lu Chen with a meaningful gaze. As a titled Duluo, his mental force was very sharp. Just now, when Lu Chen communicated with the dragon origin fruit through the blue-silver domain, Dugu Bo had keenly sensed it. He felt curious about Lu Chen's ability to communicate with plants, but more than that, he felt gratitude towards Lu Chen. Perhaps just now, if not for Lu Chen's help, his granddaughter would never have been able to gain the recognition of the dragon origin fruit. Dugu Bo spoke in a grateful tone. "Brother Lan Chen, thank you so much for what just happened. Now that the dragon origin fruit has recognized Yan Yan, can she eat this fruit now?" Lu Chen nodded with a faint smile and replied, "She can eat the dragon origin fruit at any time." The dragon essence contained within the dragon origin fruit is absolutely sufficient to allow Yan Yan's jade phosphor snake to evolve into an infinitely powerful jade phosphorus dragon. Having received Lu Chen's affirmative reply, Dugu Bo looked at Dugu Yan with encouraging eyes, his voice filled with expectation. "Yan Yan, hurry and eat this fruit. Grandfather wants to see your spirit evolve and completely rid yourself of the spirit defect where the jade phosphor serpent poison backlashes against your body." Dugu Yan responded, then sat cross-legged on the grass. She took a few deep breaths, and with a mix of anticipation and excitement, ate the dragon origin fruit. The fruit flesh melted upon contact with her mouth. Without even needing to chew, it turned into sweet juice and was swallowed down her throat. In just a short while, the fist-sized dragon origin fruit was completely eaten by Dugu Yan. In an instant, a dense energy fluctuation erupted from within Dugu Yan's body. Waves of purple light surged within her meridians, spreading to her internal organs and throughout her limbs, then piercing through her flesh, causing every inch of Dugu Yan's skin to radiate a rich purple glow. Dugu Yan's face showed a trace of nervousness. She could clearly sense that the energy surging within her at this moment far exceeded her level 35 spirit power. If this energy were to riot, it would inevitably tear her body to shreds, which made Dugu Yan feel somewhat panicked and uneasy. Just at this moment, Lu Chen's gentle voice reached Dugu Yan's ears. "Yan Yan, do not be nervous. Since the dragon origin fruit has already recognized you, it will not resist your absorption. You must keep your mind steady, do not let your thoughts wander, and focus on sensing all the changes brought to your body, soul, spirit power, and spirit after the dragon essence of the dragon origin fruit merges with you." Lu Chen's voice seemed to possess some kind of magic. Upon hearing it, Dugu Yan's nervous mood gradually eased. Following what Lu Chen said, she closed her eyes, kept her mind steady, and focused on sensing the unprecedented changes brought to her body, soul, spirit power, and spirit after the dragon essence of the dragon origin fruit merged with her. Every cell in her body was cheering at this moment, because the dragon essence of the dragon origin fruit was thoroughly remaking her body. This process was a cleansing of the marrow and a rebirth. To put it more intuitively, this process could also be called dragon transformation. Purple light, shimmering with astonishing energy fluctuations, erupted continuously from Dugu Yan's body, wrapping her entire body inside and forming a massive purple cocoon of light. Within that purple cocoon, Dugu Yan was undergoing an unprecedented transformation, a comprehensive rebirth of her body, soul, spirit power, and spirit. Dugu Bo, standing not far from Dugu Yan, watched as she turned into a purple cocoon of light. Although his expression remained as usual, the anxiety revealed in his eyes showed that his heart must be extremely unsettled at this moment. As the saying goes, care leads to chaos. After all, the person in that cocoon of light was Dugu Bo's only relative. Even with his cold, iron-hard heart, he could not view it with indifference. It was Lu Chen who walked over and consoled him with a relaxed expression. "Brother Dugu, carefully sense it. Within that purple cocoon of light, isn't Yan Yan's aura constantly growing stronger? So there is nothing to worry about. For Yan Yan, this is a good thing with 100 benefits and no harm. When Yan Yan comes out of the cocoon, she will surely have finished absorbing the dragon essence. Her spirit will have evolved. Her jade phosphor snake will have evolved into a jade phosphorus dragon. And she will have completely rid herself of the spirit defect, where the jade phosphor serpent poison backlashes against your body." Hearing Lu Chen's consolation, the anxiety in Dugu Bo's heart eased slightly. After a bitter laugh, he said helplessly, "Brother Lan Chen, I know what you say makes sense, but after all, she is my only granddaughter. My heart, it has been pounding, and I simply cannot calm down." Lu Chen sighed inwardly. Who could have imagined that Dugu Bo, whom the world feared like a tiger, also had such a tender side? He placed his hands behind his back and continued to converse with Dugu Bo. "Brother Dugu, the dragon origin fruit that Yan Yan ate is one of the immortal herbs with the highest quality and best medicinal effects in this entire valley. Actually, there is another immortal herb that I think is also very suitable for you. The name of that immortal herb is Earth Dragon Golden Melon. It is an earth attribute heaven and earth treasure, which also contains a certain amount of dragon essence. Earth attribute is neutral and balanced, one of the gentlest attributes, and it will not conflict with the poison attribute of the jade phosphor snake spirit." Subscribe for more amazing novel audiobooks. Don't forget to like, comment, and share infinite novel audio. Yan Yan has already eaten the dragon origin fruit. I think it would be better for you, Brother Dugu, to eat this earth dragon golden melon. Your jade phosphor snake has already evolved into a jade phosphor serpent. As you said, a mere immortal herb might not be enough to cause the jade phosphor serpent to evolve. However, the earth dragon golden melon can grant you a second attribute, the earth attribute. The poison attribute and the earth attribute will not cause any conflict. By using the earth attribute to suppress the poison attribute, you will also be able to rid yourself of the spirit defect, where the jade phosphor serpent poison backlashes against your body. After listening to what Lu Chen said, Dugu Bo's heart stirred. According to this analysis, eating that earth dragon golden melon would indeed be of great benefit to him. At the same time, Dugu Bo could also hear that this was Lu Chen genuinely thinking of him from the bottom of his heart. A few traces of gentleness appeared in his emerald green eyes, and a faint smile hung on his face. Brother Lan Chen, I know of your good intentions, but for now I still cannot set my heart at ease regarding Yan Yan. After Yan Yan completes her spirit evolution, I will find another opportunity to eat the earth dragon golden melon. In any case, the immortal herbs are all in this valley, so I do not need to rush. Hearing Dugu Bo say this, Lu Chen did not say anything more. Dugu Bo himself was not in a rush, so why should he be anxious on the side? Besides, the immortal herb wouldn't run away. Lu Chen and Dugu Bo stood together, waiting for Dugu Yan to break out of her cocoon. Time passed quickly without them noticing. Soon, the sky brightened, the red sun rose in the east, and rays of warm sunlight shone in from outside the valley, illuminating the interior of the valley. At this time in Heaven Dew City, the spies hiding near the Dugu residence only just realized, belatedly, that Dugu Bo and Lu Chen had long since disappeared. Upon discovering this situation, they hurriedly went back to report, some to the Crown Prince's residence, and some to the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. Chapter 46. Heaven Dew Weightlifting Champion Crown Prince's residence. Just after getting up and washing, Zhu King, who was eating breakfast, heard the report from the informant he had arranged. Dugu Bo and Lu Chen had both completely disappeared. They must have slipped away quietly under the cover of darkness last night. Zhu King raised an eyebrow at this, neither feeling too surprised nor feeling any anger. Come to think of it, facing such a huge threat like the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, remaining in the open was simply too dangerous. It was better to move from the light into the darkness and hide temporarily. As long as the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School couldn't find them, they would be absolutely safe. For Dugu Bo, a dignified titled Duluo, to slip away with someone under the cover of darkness and evade those informants was simply too easy. Zhu King's expression was calm, and he ordered in a composed tone, "Get up." This matter cannot be blamed on you. Monitoring a titled Duluo is indeed not that easy. With Lan Chen's talent, as long as he doesn't die in the future, he will sooner or later become a titled Duluo of the support system. My teacher will not let him go easily. For the time being, you don't need to track Dugu Bo and Lan Chen. Go and monitor the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School in secret. As long as my teacher finds the traces of Dugu Bo and Lan Chen, he will inevitably be unable to resist making a move. When that time comes, we can be the oriole behind the mantis stalking the cicada, finding an opportunity to save Lan Chen. With the debt of a life-saving grace, it will be much easier to recruit him later. Hearing Zhu King's orders, the informant he had arranged responded respectfully, then immediately got up to make arrangements. After the person left, wisdom flickered in Zhu King's eyes, and he thought to himself, "Lan Chen, your talent truly surprises me, but whether you are worth making my teacher an enemy over depends on your own value, what kind of spirit you have, and what kind of 6 spirit abilities you possess. If your value is sufficient, I will not hesitate to call upon Elder Snake Lance and Elder Porcupine Fish to save your life. If your value is insufficient, then I am very sorry, but I will not risk exposure to make an enemy of my teacher. I wish to achieve a great cause, and I need capable people to assist me. People without value are not worth my effort." Thinking of this, Zhu King forcefully shook his shoulders, which were not particularly broad, as if they were pressed down by the weight of 1,000 jun. The 5 major provinces, 4 kingdoms, and 1 grand duchy of the Heaven Dew Empire were all resting on his shoulders. As the Heaven Dew weightlifting champion, he had to be extremely cautious. Meanwhile, on the other side, at the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. As the wealthiest sect on the continent, the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School had built its entire sect headquarters on a mountain. Looking from afar, it seemed like a mountain city. At the foot of the mountain was the area where commoners lived. They were basically the family, friends, and relatives of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School's spirit masters. On the mountainside was the area where outer sect disciples and members of vassal families lived. They were the backbone of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. The Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School claimed to have 5,000 spirit masters, the vast majority of whom were outer sect disciples and members of vassal families, all living in the mountainside area. On the mountaintop was the area where inner sect disciples and core family members lived. They were the true upper echelon of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. Sect Master Ning Fengjai usually handled work in the Great Hall at the mountaintop, while Sword Duluo and Bone Duluo, the two protector Duluos of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School, would guard Ning Fengjai's sides most of the time. Just this morning, Ning Fengjai came to the Great Hall at the mountaintop, preparing to handle the day's work. The informant he had sent out just yesterday returned today with an uneasy expression to report. Reporting to the sect master, Poison Duluo and Lan Chen have disappeared from the Dugu residence. It is very likely that they slipped away stealthily under the cover of darkness last night. We failed to detect it in time. Please, sect master, impose punishment. Hearing this, Ning Fengjai's good mood from the morning was instantly destroyed. His eyebrows, which slanted up into his temples, furrowed tightly, showing that he was extremely angry. Boom. Before Ning Fengjai could say anything, a powerful aura erupted from the body of Bone Duluo, who was guarding nearby, and a visible wave of air expanded outward. On Bone Duluo's skeleton-like face appeared an expression of extreme anger, and he sternly rebuked. What trash! The task assigned to you only yesterday was ruined in just one night. You've been collecting your salary for nothing if you can't even handle such a small matter. Accompanied by Bone Duluo's rebuking words, the visible, fierce air waves slammed into the informant, blasting him away directly. He let out a miserable scream, spat out a large mouthful of blood in midair, and then crashed onto the ground with a thud. Although he didn't die, he looked to have sustained serious injuries. He dared not have any complaints about this. After gasping for breath a few times, his face was full of terror. Ignoring his injuries, he struggled to crawl up. His legs went weak, and he knelt on the ground, kowtowing with his head making thumping sounds. Bone Duluo stopped looking at this person. He turned his head to face Ning Fengjai, his eyes filled with intense malice, and said in a low voice, "Fengjai, Lan Chen was taken away by Dugu Bo. It seems Dugu Bo is determined to make an enemy of our Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. Since that is the case, we don't need to be polite either. Dugu Bo's granddaughter is still studying at the Heavendew Imperial Academy. I will go and abduct her now. Let Dugu Bo bring Lan Chen to exchange with us, one life for one life. Dugu Yan is Dugu Bo's only granddaughter. If we catch Dugu Yan, Dugu Bo will inevitably compromise." This idea of Bone Duluo could be said to be extremely vicious, using Dugu Bo's granddaughter to threaten Dugu Bo. If Bone Duluo really succeeded and captured Dugu Yan, Dugu Bo might truly hand over Lan Chen for the sake of his granddaughter. Ning Fengjai raised his index finger, tapping on the table again and again. He didn't nod in agreement, nor did he shake his head in rejection. He was still considering it. This idea was certainly feasible, but it would also completely offend Dugu Bo. If Dugu Bo held a grudge later, it would be very unfavorable for their Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School. After all, the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School had a large family and business, while Dugu Bo was a lone individual. Dugu Bo couldn't attack the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School head-on, but he could find ways to discuss them. Killing a spirit master of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School here today, slaughtering a caravan of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School there tomorrow, and poisoning the water source near the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School the day after. These methods, which were impossible to guard against, were enough to make them exhausted and weary of dealing with them. Either don't do it, or do it thoroughly. Ning Fengzhai was considering whether to use Dugu Yan to lure Dugu Bo and land Chen, then take sword Duluo and bone Duluo to stage an ambush, killing Lan Chen while also killing Dugu Bo and his granddaughter Dugu Yan. Only by completely eliminating future troubles in this way could the 7-treasure glazed tile school truly rest easy. However, at this moment, the informant said tremblingly. Reporting to the sect master, according to the information sent back, Dugu Yan of the Heavendu Imperial Academy also suddenly disappeared last night. It is very likely that Dugu Bo took her away together under the cover of darkness. As soon as these words were spoken, Bone Duluo's plan completely collapsed. After all, if they couldn't capture Dugu Yan, how could they threaten Dugu Bo? Malice flared on Bone Duluo's face. He waved his large hand, and a burst of spirit power exploded outward, slamming into the informant again and blasting him away. Crack, crack, crack. Accompanied by a series of bone-breaking sounds, the informant's sternum fractured. He rolled his eyes and fainted while still in midair, landing on the ground with a thud. It was clear he was breathing more air out than in, and had sustained heavy injuries. Bone Duluo was still not satisfied and cursed while saying, "Trash, this trash can't even handle a small matter." "Fengzhai, what do you say we should do now? That Lan Chen is a level 69 spirit emperor of the support system. He will probably break through to level 70 spirit power soon. This person must absolutely not be let off." Ning Fengzhai's eyes were cold. The usual refined and easygoing demeanor had completely disappeared at this moment. For the sake of the 7-treasure glazed tile school, he absolutely would not allow Lan Chen to continue living. Ning Fengzhai first waved his hand, letting people take away the unconscious informant and clean up the blood on the ground. After that, Ning Fengzhai stood up, his hands behind his back, like a god presiding over life and death, and said indifferently, "Thinking that by hiding, we, the 7-treasure glazed tile school, wouldn't be able to find them. Naive, too naive. The manpower and financial resources of our 7-treasure glazed tile school are enough to surpass the entire continent. As long as Dugu Bo, Dugu Yan, and Lan Chen appear in any corner of the continent, they will inevitably leave traces. Immediately pass down the order to mobilize all the manpower and financial resources of the 7-treasure glazed tile school to collect information on Dugu Bo, Dugu Yan, and Lan Chen across the entire continent. As soon as they are found, we will immediately go to silence them. Lan Chen must die. As for Dugu Bo and Dugu Yan, if they are sensible, we can spare their lives. If they are not sensible, then we will cut the weeds and eliminate the roots." The 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda, as the continent's #1 support system spirit, this status must absolutely not be shaken in any way. Bone Duluo immediately accepted the order and said, "Fengzhai, we should have done this long ago. I will go and arrange it now." As the voice fell, Bone Duluo turned and left, clearly going to make preparations. Chapter 47, Jade Phosphorus Dragon returning once more to the ice and fire yin-yang well. Ever since Dugu Yan consumed the dragon origin fruit, its staggering medicinal power and dragon essence had formed a massive purple light cocoon. Within that purple cocoon, Dugu Yan's body, soul, spirit power, and spirit were all absorbing the incredible medicinal power and dragon essence of the dragon origin fruit, undergoing an unprecedented transformation. Dugu Bo and Lu Chen had been standing guard beside the purple cocoon. With their profound spirit power, going without food, drink, or relief for a period of time had no significant impact on their bodies. They waited like this for an entire day. Inside the purple cocoon, Dugu Yan's aura continued to climb, seemingly reaching a critical threshold. That astonishing energy fluctuation sent ripples through the air, and the heaven and earth energy in the atmosphere was drawn toward the cocoon, converging upon it. Thump, 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 a dull sound like the beating of a drum rang out one after another in rapid succession. The purple cocoon flickered rhythmically. With every pulse of light, the cocoon would give a powerful throb, breathing in and refining the gathered heaven and earth energy. Finally, at a certain moment, A high-pitched dragon roar erupted from within the purple cocoon. Inside, Dugu Yan's aura finally broke through the threshold and began to explode upward like a geyser, reaching an unprecedented level. Hearing this dragon roar, both Dugu Bo and Lu Chen looked over with expressions of excitement. Barring any accidents, this meant Dugu Yan had finished absorbing the medicinal power of the dragon origin fruit, completed her spirit evolution, and was about to burst out of the cocoon. Dugu Bo was especially agitated. His hands were restless, not knowing where to put them, and his emerald green eyes flickered with a light of nervousness and anticipation. Crack, crack, crack. Accompanied by the sound of shattering, fine cracks like spiderwebs began to spread across the purple cocoon. Once those cracks covered the entire cocoon, an endless purple light shot out from within the fissures. Shining under that blinding light, both Dugu Bo and Lu Chen couldn't help but squint their eyes. Only after a long while did the light gradually dissipate. Dugu Bo and Lu Chen opened their eyes and looked toward the original position of the purple cocoon. The purple cocoon had now vanished. What remained was Dugu Yan, who had completed her martial soul possession. At this moment, Dugu Yan exuded an extremely wild aura. Emerald scales grew across the surface of her skin, interlocking with one another to form a complete set of dragon scale armor that covered her entire body. The dragon scale armor fit her body perfectly, not hindering her movements in the slightest while providing formidable defense. On Dugu Yan's forehead, a lozenge-shaped crystal had condensed, extending to the left and right with two sharp protrusions on each side, resembling dragon horns. At the same time, beneath Dugu Yan's feet, 3 spirit rings rhythmically pulsed up and down, yellow, yellow, purple. In the Spirit Master's world, this was the optimal spirit ring configuration. As Dugu Bo's granddaughter, Dugu Yan's 3 spirit rings had been personally selected by him. They were certainly not just there to make up the numbers. Just then, Dugu Yan opened both eyes. In her emerald green pupils, there was no longer the slightest hint of soft charm or seductiveness. There was only boundless sharpness and heroism. Now, although Dugu Yan appeared slender, she gave off a feeling of being filled with power. Looking at the almost unrecognizable Dugu Yan, Dugu Bo asked with a trembling voice, "Yan Yan, are you all right? Has the spirit defect of the jade phosphor serpent poison recoiling upon yourself been overcome?" Hearing Dugu Bo's voice, Dugu Yan looked over. A smile appeared on her fair face as she explained happily, "Grandpa, I feel wonderful right now, or rather, I've never felt this good before. My spirit has evolved. It is no longer the jade phosphor snake, but the jade phosphorus dragon. As a dragon-type spirit, it has definitely entered the category of super spirits. Not only has it given me an extremely powerful physique, but it has also given me unparalleled digestive capabilities. For example, in the future, I can devour any foreign energy, such as fire energy or water energy, and that includes lethal toxins. From now on, the jade phosphor serpent poison can no longer poison me. It will only become nourishment to further increase my spirit power. Besides the spirit evolution, my spirit power has also received a massive boost. I was originally at rank 35, but now I am at rank 40. I feel it doesn't stop there. My spirit power is definitely even higher, but I need to obtain my 4th spirit ring before the spirit power accumulated in my body can be truly released. Beyond that, my body and soul have also each received astonishing improvements. The gains this dragon origin fruit brought me are simply too great. Grandpa Lan Chen, thank you. Thank you so much." Hearing Dugu Yan's gratitude, Lu Chen nodded with a smile. He was also quite surprised by Dugu Yan's gains. This dragon origin fruit was indeed a heaven and earth treasure that had inherited part of the dragon essence of the Ice Dragon King and Fire Dragon King. Its staggering effects were breathtaking. At this time, Dugu Bo laughed out loud even more joyfully. "Ha ha ha. Good, that's wonderful. From now on, Yan Yan, you never have to worry about the spirit defect of the jade phosphor serpent poison recoiling on your body again. And with the spirit evolution from jade phosphor snake to jade phosphorus dragon, our lineage now has an even more powerful spirit legacy. Our Dugu family will no longer be Jade Phosphor Snake Spirit Masters, but Jade Phosphorus Dragon Spirit Masters. Dragon-type spirits are symbols of power. Our family's Jade Phosphorus Dragon, haha, is definitely not inferior to the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan. At this point, Dugu Bo's eyes were shining brilliantly as he looked at Dugu Yan intently. Also, Yan, you said you're already at rank 40 spirit power. Then we'll go hunt a spirit beast right now to absorb your 4th spirit ring. A 16-year-old 4-ring spirit ancestor, in any power on the continent, that is a seed with the potential to become a titled Duluo. In the future, Yan, you will surely become a titled Duluo as well. Dugu Yan nodded. She was also looking forward to seeing what her true spirit power rank would be after obtaining her 4th spirit ring. Then, Dugu Yan glanced at Chen, her face turning slightly red as she said, "Grandpa, take Grandpa Lan Chen outside first. When I was absorbing the medicinal power of the dragon origin fruit just now, my dress was torn to shreds. If I retract my spirit now, I won't have a stitch of clothing on. You two go wait outside for a bit. Once I've changed my dress, I'll come out to find you." Dugu Bo immediately looked solemn and nodded repeatedly, saying, Right, I'll take Brother Lan Chen out. Yan, come out as soon as you've changed." As his voice fell, Dugu Bo swung his arm around Lu Chen's neck and said in a very grateful tone, "Brother Lan Chen, let's head out first and not disturb Yan while she changes. Also, regarding this matter, I truly thank you. From now on, you are my, Dugu Bo's, iron brother. As long as I have a breath left, I will never let anyone harm you." While speaking, Dugu Bo took Lu Chen and soared into the air, quickly flying toward the outside of the valley. Gratitude was one thing, but Dugu Bo did not want Lu Chen to see his precious granddaughter's jade-like body. Chapter 48. The 4th spirit ring of the Jade Phosphorus Dragon. Before long, Dugu Bo took Lu Chen and left the Valley of the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang well. As he was being led away, Lu Chen secretly curled his lips. Dugu Bo was guarding against him as if he were a thief, as if he would peek at Dugu Yan's naked jade body. Dugu Yan called him grandfather, after all. Could he really do such a thing? After the two of them left, only Dugu Yan remained in the valley. Only then did Dugu Yan retract her spirit. The dragon scale armor on her body faded, scale by scale, disappearing beneath her skin. In just a moment, a completely naked, fair, and delicate proud body, as smooth as ivory jade, was exposed in the empty valley. Dugu Yan was no longer a little girl. She was already a grown woman. Dugu Yan was 16, and on the Douluo Continent, every time a spirit master absorbed a spirit ring, it promoted physical development. Therefore, the current Dugu Yan had curves in all the right places, her figure well-defined, and her entire being exuded a mature charm. Her thighs were rounded, her calves slender, and a pair of small, exquisite jade feet stepped onto the soft lawn. What a breathtakingly beautiful sight, unfortunately. There was no one to appreciate it at this moment. Dugu Yan quickly took out a new set of undergarments, a dress, and crystal shoes from her storage soul guidance device, and began to put them on one by one. About a few minutes later, Dugu Yan was fully dressed, but she felt that it was a bit too tight, especially around her chest. For this reason, she had to reach out and rub her chest, adjusting the position of the two soft white mounds so that her chest wouldn't feel so constricted, allowing her to catch her breath properly. Is it because the medicinal power of the dragon origin fruit caused my body to develop further while it was being reborn? It seems to have grown again. It's really a headache. The clothes are almost too small to fit. It seems I need to buy new clothes. As her voice trailed off, Dugu Yan adjusted the position of the two soft white mounds, took a deep breath, and let it out slowly. After confirming that her breathing was smooth, Dugu Yan turned around, put her hands behind her back, and walked outward. Dugu Yan arrived outside the valley and met up with Dugu Bo and Lu Chen. The three of them walked down the mountain together, preparing to head to the Sunset Forest to find a suitable spirit beast for Dugu Yan to serve as her 4th spirit ring. During the descent, Lu Chen suddenly asked, "Brother Dugu, what kind of spirit beast are you planning to choose for Yan's 4th spirit ring?" I can communicate with the plants in the sunset forest and can help you quickly find the spirit beast you need." After Lu Chen raised this question, Dugu Yan also looked at Dugu Bo, because every one of her spirit rings had always been chosen for her by her grandfather. After a moment of contemplation, Dugu Bo spoke in a low voice. "Yan Yan's first spirit ring is excitement poison, the second is paralysis poison, and the third is corrosion poison. Excitement poison can increase attack, and paralysis poison can increase defense. They are both auxiliary toxins and cannot be considered highly toxic. I considered that Yan Yan was still young back then, and was afraid that she wouldn't be able to absorb a highly toxic spirit ring that was too fierce. Corrosion poison has a strong corrosive effect. This can be considered a highly toxic poison, balancing both crowd control and offensive capabilities. If she continues to follow the path of a control system spirit master, then for the fourth spirit ability, one could choose a poison smoke type skill to interfere with enemies in battle. However, Yan Yan, now that her spirit has evolved from the Jade Phosphor Snake to the Jade Phosphorus Dragon, it would be too much of a waste of this opportunity if she were to purely become a control system spirit master. Therefore, for Yan Yan's fourth spirit ability, let's choose a spirit beast that possesses a large area highly toxic attack skill." Hearing this, Lu Chen nodded to show he understood, then he glanced at Dugu Yan and said, "Generally speaking, the fourth spirit ring a spirit master absorbs should be under 5,000 years, but Yan Yan is not an ordinary spirit master. She has absorbed the medicinal power of the dragon origin fruit. Her body, soul, spirit power, and spirit have all undergone a rebirth. Absorbing a 10,000-year spirit ring might still be a stretch, but absorbing a 7,000 or 8,000-year spirit ring will definitely be no problem at all. Then I will find a spirit beast with 7 or 8,000 years of cultivation that possesses a large area highly toxic attack skill." Dugu Bo was a bit hesitant at first. After all, he didn't want to see his granddaughter take risks, but after thinking about it, he agreed. The higher the age of the absorbed spirit ring, the more it can maximize the potential of the spirit master, which has unimaginable benefits for the spirit master's future development. Just as Lu Chen said, after his granddaughter absorbed the medicinal power of the dragon origin fruit, her body, soul, spirit power, and spirit had all undergone a rebirth. Exceeding the limit to absorb a fourth spirit ring would not be a big problem. As long as it is a spirit ring under 10,000 years, his granddaughter should be able to absorb it. Dugu Bo agreed in a deep voice. "Then I will have to trouble you, Brother Lan Chen." Subsequently, Lu Chen released the blue-silver domain. Under the constant infusion of his mental force, the range of the forest covered by the blue-silver domain gradually became larger and larger. He communicated with the blue-silver grass within the blue-silver domain, using them to search for a spirit beast that met the requirements. Being within the blue-silver domain, both Dugu Bo and Dugu Yan felt very curious. They looked around, and the grandfather and granddaughter discovered at the same time. Lu Chen, who was in front of them, seemed to have become the king of the forest. The entire forest was his home turf. Dugu Bo's perception was more acute. He discovered that the surrounding blue-silver grass was all trembling slightly, bowing down in the direction of Lu Chen, as if they were on a pilgrimage. Dugu Bo understood in his heart. This power seems to be the legendary domain. The domain of my brother Lan Chen can make the blue-silver grass in the forest submit. Could it be that Brother Lan Chen's spirit is actually related to blue-silver grass? But it is certainly not ordinary blue-silver grass. It should be a king, an emperor among blue-silver grass. Blue-silver grass is indeed the most useless of useless spirits. But if it is a king or emperor among blue-silver grass, possessing some magical abilities, it is actually quite reasonable. Brother Lan Chen's method of communicating with plants must rely on this domain. A domain is a method that even I have not mastered. It is truly breathtaking. Dugu Bo was worthy of being a titled Duluo. Just by relying on the methods Lu Chen displayed, he guessed the origin of his spirit. Just at this moment, Lu Chen's expression suddenly brightened. "Brother Dugu, Yan Yan, I found it. Come with me." As his voice fell, Chen took the lead and rushed toward a certain direction in the forest. Dugu Bo also felt a boost in spirits. He raised his hand and grabbed Dugu Yan's shoulder, and with Dugu Yan in tow, he quickly chased after him. At their speed, it took less than half an hour to arrive at their destination. A highly toxic swamp filled with a faint, fishy stench. Chen stopped at the edge of the swamp and said to Dugu Bo and Dugu Yan, who had rushed over, "Brother Dugu, Yan, according to the information I obtained from communicating with the plants, in this swamp, there is a poison arrow frog with 8,000 years of cultivation. The poison arrow frog can spit out several, or even a dozen, poison arrows. Those poison arrows contain violent neurotoxins, which can cause the struck prey to lose control of their body in a short period of time. Finally, the poison arrow frog will swallow the prey bite by bite while the prey is conscious. This spirit beast, while a bit ugly, definitely meets the requirements. Brother Dugu, look at that position. The poison arrow frog is hiding in the mud pond in the swamp." Dugu Bo nodded, acknowledging what Chen said. This 8,000-year-old poison arrow frog really did meet their requirements. He followed the direction Chen pointed and saw the poison arrow frog in the mud pond at a glance. Dugu Bo did not hesitate. He placed Dugu Yan beside Chen. "Brother Chen, keep an eye on Yan. I'll go and catch this poison arrow frog." As soon as these words were spoken, Dugu Bo instantly soared into the air and flew toward the direction of the poison arrow frog. The poison arrow frog hiding in the swamp also discovered the enemy, Dugu Bo. It croaked 3 times and prepared to spit out the poison arrows containing the violent neurotoxins. However, the poison arrow frog had really kicked a steel plate this time. Dugu Bo was a dignified titled Duluo. Was he someone that an 8,000-year-old spirit beast could deal with? Dugu Bo didn't even summon his spirit. He just released the spirit power pressure of a titled Duluo, which poured onto the poison arrow frog like a landslide or tidal wave. Before the poison arrow frog could even spit out the poison arrows, it immediately rolled its eyes and fainted. Seeing this situation, a look of disdain appeared on Dugu Bo's face. If it were a 10,000-year spirit beast, he would still have to expend some effort. For a spirit beast under 10,000 years, dealing with it was too easy. Dugu Bo landed, reached out and grabbed one of the poison arrow frog's thighs, lifted the 3-meter-long poison arrow frog, and turned around to head back toward the position of Chen and Dugu Yan. An 8,000-year-old poison arrow frog, just like that, was easily dealt with. Chapter 49. Jade Phosphorus Poison Arrow Rain in the blink of an eye. Dugu Bo grabbed the poison arrow frog by its leg and brought it to the edge of the toxic swamp. With a loud thud, Dugu Bo dropped the poison arrow frog, and it landed heavily on the ground. Dugu Bo landed on the ground immediately after, looking at Dugu Yan with a solemn expression. Yan, this is an 8,000-year spirit beast. Normally, the 4th spirit ring of a spirit master is absorbed from those under 5,000 years. Absorbing an 8,000-year spirit ring beyond the limit will indeed bring you a massive boost, but it also comes with certain risks. Consider it carefully yourself. If you are unwilling, Grandpa will never force you. Dugu Yan heard the concern in Dugu Bo's voice and gave a charming, naive smile before saying with a face full of confidence, "Grandpa, I am willing to absorb this spirit ring, and I don't think it involves much risk. I know perfectly well how strong my physique is now. Absorbing an 8,000-year spirit ring will definitely not be a problem." After stating her position, Dugu Yan jogged over to the poison arrow frog and looked at this massive spirit beast. Ordinary short knives or swords probably wouldn't be able to kill this 8,000-year spirit beast. Thus, Dugu Yan performed her martial soul possession. Dragon scales emerged from beneath her skin one by one, interlocking to form a set of dragon scale armor. A rhombic crystal also appeared on her forehead, with a sharp point on both its left and right sides, making it look like dragon horns. Yellow, purple, 3 spirit rings gradually rose beneath her feet, and then the 3rd purple spirit ring suddenly lit up. 3rd spirit ability, Jade Phosphorus Purple Poison. Dugu Yan took a deep breath, a faint purple glow appearing in her emerald green eyes, and then she spat out a cloud of purple toxic mist. The purple toxic mist spread forward and soon coated the poison arrow frog's body. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The intense corrosive effect caused clouds of white smoke to rise from the surface of the poison arrow frog's skin. Although the poison arrow frog, as a poison attribute spirit beast, possessed a certain degree of poison resistance, it was currently unconscious and completely unable to mobilize the spirit power within its body to resist. The intense pain caused the poison arrow frog's body to begin twitching involuntarily. Suddenly, with a croak, the poison arrow frog snapped its eyes open, its gaze filled with pain and ferocity. It had actually been woken up directly by the pain. After the poison arrow frog woke up, its body began thrashing and struggling violently, instinctively trying to attack Dugu Yan. However, Dugu was still standing right beside her. Seeing the poison arrow frog still struggling, Dugu snorted coldly, and the spirit power pressure of a titled Duluo poured out once more, pressing down on the poison arrow frog like an overwhelming mountain. Unable to withstand it, the poison arrow frog's eyes rolled back, and it quickly fainted again. Only its body would still twitch a few times from time to time due to the intense pain. In less than a minute, the poison arrow frog's life came to a complete end. Under the corrosion of the purple toxic mist, the poison arrow frog almost turned into a heap of rotten meat, emitting a foul stench that made one frown. In the next instant, an intense purple light erupted from within its body, emitting startling energy fluctuations, finally gathering to form a purple spirit ring. Seeing the spirit ring appear, Dugu Yan did not absorb it immediately, but instead looked at Dugu and Lu Chen and said, Grandpa Lan Chen, I'll have to trouble you to be my protectors." After saying this, Dugu Yan sat down cross-legged, and with a beckoning wave of her hand, the purple spirit ring drifted toward her, gradually encircling her body before quickly shrinking and merging into her. Boom. A wave of cold and overbearing energy instantly swept through Dugu Yan's internal body, her limbs and bones, and her internal organs, causing her delicate willow leaf eyebrows to furrow slightly. After all, this was an 8,000-year spirit ring. The energy contained within it was extremely massive and violent. However, Dugu Yan demonstrated her ability to remain calm in the face of danger. Relying on the strength of her jade phosphorus dragon spirit, she withstood the first wave of energy impact. Spirit ring energy follows the principle that the first surge is the strongest, the second is weaker, and the third is exhausted. The first wave of energy impact is always the most fierce and difficult to block. As long as one could endure the first wave of energy impact, the subsequent waves would become increasingly weaker, and enduring them would become easier and easier. Before long, Dugu Yan's absorption of the poison arrow frog spirit ring passed its most dangerous moment and gradually began to get on the right track. Dugu, who had been standing guard nearby, breathed a sigh of relief at this sight. Just now, his heart had truly been in his throat. He had been terrified that his granddaughter would suffer damage to her meridians and dantian, or that her foundation would be wounded because she couldn't withstand an 8,000-year spirit ring. Compared to Dugu's nervousness, Lu Chen appeared much more calm. After all, the immortal herb he had chosen for Dugu Yan was the dragon origin fruit, which inherited part of the dragon essence of the Ice Dragon King and Fire Dragon King. If Dugu Yan, having absorbed the dragon origin fruit, couldn't even absorb an 8,000-year spirit ring, that would be the truly strange thing. So from the very beginning, Lu Chen had nothing to be nervous about. He even had the presence of mind to greet Dugu before running off into the forest to go hunting. Through the blue-silver grass spread throughout the forest, he found a spirit beast that was a grass chicken of about 250 years in less than 10 minutes. Lu Chen used his blue-silver domain to drive the blue-silver grass, causing it to grow wildly and weave into a large net of blue-silver grass, easily capturing that grass chicken spirit beast. After capturing it, Lu Chen immediately killed it, plucked its feathers, removed its internal organs, washed it clean, and then cut some firewood to set up a campfire for a barbecue upon his return. Seeing Lu Chen so leisurely, Dugu Bo gave him a glare, but soon smelling that faint aroma of meat, Dugu Bo quickly called out, "Brother Lan Chen, don't just think of yourself, leave half for me and Yan Yan." Lu Chen agreed with a smile, no problem. Time passed bit by bit. After approximately 6 hours of absorption, Dugu Yan finally successfully absorbed that 8,000-year poison arrow frog spirit ring. She opened her eyes, exhaled a mouthful of turbid breath, and jumped up from the ground full of energy. It seemed that this spirit ring absorption had brought her enormous benefits. Dugu Bo hurriedly asked, "Yan Yan, how do you feel? What rank has your spirit power reached? What kind of spirit ability did you obtain?" Dugu Yan raised her head and said in a jubilant tone, "I feel wonderful. My body is filled with power. My spirit power has currently reached rank 46. I find it incredible that absorbing the medicinal power of the dragon origin fruit actually allowed me to increase by more than 10 ranks of spirit power. Also, my fourth spirit ability is called Jade Phosphorus Poison Arrow Rain. It can condense multiple poison arrows for an attack. The poison arrows contain a violent neurotoxin. As long as they make contact with the skin, they will instantly erode the target's body, causing them to lose control over their own body while remaining conscious. As a special effect of absorbing a spirit ring beyond the limit, the number of poison arrows my fourth spirit ability can condense has no upper limit. As long as my spirit power is sufficient, condensing dozens or even hundreds of them is no problem at all. This kind of large-scale attack is enough to make it impossible for others to even dodge." After hearing what Dugu Yan said, Dugu Bo's face was full of amazement. At the same time, Dugu Bo was also happy for Dugu Yan for obtaining such a massive boost. Right at that moment, Lu Chen strode over to Dugu Bo and Dugu Yan's side, holding up a roasted grass chicken, and said with a smile, "Now that Yan Yan has finished absorbing her spirit ring and this grass chicken is roasted, let's eat it together. We haven't eaten a single bite of food since last night until now." Chapter 50. Earth Dragon Golden Melon, a roasted grass chicken with crispy skin and tender meat, emitting a mouth-watering aroma, was quickly devoured by Lu Chen, Dugu Bo, and Dugu Yan. Fortunately, this grass chicken was a 250-year-old spirit beast and quite large. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been enough for the three of them to share. After finishing the chicken and filling their stomachs, the three returned to the ice and fire yin-yang well. Due to the threat from the 7-treasure glazed tile school, it wasn't convenient for them to go outside, so they had to hide in the ice and fire yin-yang well for the foreseeable future. The valley of the ice and fire yin-yang well contained extremely violent ice and fire energy. Whether human or spirit beast, inhaling this energy for a long time would eventually result in death by body explosion. Dugu Bo could rely on his profound spirit power to forcibly suppress this violent ice and fire energy. In the past, he even used this energy to suppress the deadly toxins invading his body. Lu Chen, having consumed the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower, could now bathe or swim in the ice and fire yin-yang well without sustaining any harm. Naturally, the ice and fire energy in the air posed even less of a threat to him. As for Dugu Yan, she had consumed the dragon origin fruit, and her jade phosphor snake had evolved into a jade phosphorus dragon. With a powerful physique and incredible digestion, she could not only refine toxins to increase her spirit power, but also refine the ice and fire energy for the same purpose. In the ice and fire yin-yang well, she was like a fish in water. Not only was she safe from harm, but the environment also greatly accelerated her cultivation speed. For various reasons, Dugu Bo, Lu Chen, and Dugu Yan now all possessed the ability to live long-term within the ice and fire yin-yang well. Over the next half-month every 3 days, Lu Chen would perform his fourth spirit ability, Blue-Silver Baptism, to help Dugu Bo purify the toxins in his body. Because the toxins in Dugu Bo's body had accumulated over many years, they were deeply rooted, having penetrated his internal organs and even his bone marrow. Even for Lu Chen, it took half a month and 5 separate treatments to finally completely eliminate the toxins from Dugu Bo's body. On that day, as the toxins were purged from Dugu Bo's body, the bottleneck that had trapped him for years was forcibly broken in an instant. His spirit power broke through from rank 91 to rank 92. It was quite pitiful, since Dugu Bo absorbed his 9th spirit ring and became a titled Duluo. His spirit power had stagnated at rank 91. No matter how hard he cultivated, his spirit power hadn't grown at all. There were many reasons for this, but the most significant was that the spirit power Dugu Bo painstakingly cultivated every day was used to suppress the toxins in his body. That was why his spirit power had remained stagnant for so many years. Now that he was no longer troubled by the toxins, the spirit power used to suppress them was completely liberated, allowing his spirit power to increase by 1 rank. Dugu Bo was overjoyed. Having completely escaped the burden of the toxins, he felt as if his body had aged 10 years in reverse. He felt comfortable from the inside out. That cold, piercing pain never appeared again. At the same time, his appearance changed. His long, dark green hair had turned completely white. Originally, because his body had suffered from toxic erosion for years, his expression was extremely sinister, and his smile alone was enough to stop a child's crying at night. Now he looked much more peaceful. Against the backdrop of his snowy white hair, he looked like an ordinary old man rather than the fearsome poison Duluo. Not only that, but the 1-rank increase in spirit power made Dugu Bo grin from ear to ear. Ever since Dugu Bo became a titled Duluo, his strength hadn't improved even an inch. Although Dugu Bo didn't say it openly, he felt deep regret in his heart. He didn't want to stay at rank 91 forever and be known by others as the weakest, titled Duluo. He was now at rank 92, and because the toxins were completely gone, his spirit power would continue to rise as long as he cultivated diligently. Breaking through to rank 93, rank 94, or even rank 95 was now possible. Just thinking about it made Dugu Bo feel refreshed. At this moment, Lu Chen looked at Dugu Bo and said, "Brother Dugu, actually half a month ago, when I consumed the 2 immortal herbs, the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate flower, my internal spirit power surged, and I broke through from rank 69 to rank 70. Now that the toxins in your body have been cleared, I would like to invite you to accompany me to hunt a suitable plant-type spirit beast to serve as my 7th spirit ring." Hearing this, Dugu Bo was happy for Lu Chen. He truly considered Lu Chen a brother now, so he immediately laughed heartily and said, "This is a good thing. This old man has no problem with it. I'll call Yan Yan to come along, and we'll set off immediately to find a suitable plant spirit beast for your 7th spirit ring." The 7th spirit ring concerns the martial soul avatar. As a spirit master's most important ring, we absolutely cannot be careless. We must choose carefully. Seeing Dugu Bo agree, Lu Chen also showed a relaxed smile. There's no rush. Since you are no longer troubled by toxins, Brother Dugu, why not take this time to eat the Earth Dragon Golden Melon? I believe this will surely boost your strength significantly. Not only can it enhance your spirit power, but it might even evolve your spirit. It's better to do this sooner rather than later. In case we encounter danger outside, the stronger you are, the safer we will be. Dugu Bo's heart stirred. He had been so happy about clearing the toxins that he had almost forgotten about this. His granddaughter, Dugu Yan, had eaten a dragon origin fruit, and her body, soul, spirit power, and spirit had all undergone a fundamental transformation. Even if this Earth Dragon Golden Melon wasn't as good as the dragon origin fruit, it certainly wouldn't be far off. If he ate it, there would definitely be a significant improvement. Dugu Bo immediately looked at Lu Chen. "Worthy brother Lan Chen, then I'll have to trouble you to find that Earth Dragon Golden Melon." Lu Chen nodded and said, "It's a small matter." As he spoke, Lu Chen released his blue-silver domain. By communicating through the domain, it took only a moment for him to pinpoint the location of the Earth Dragon Golden Melon. Lu Chen turned and walked quickly. After about a dozen steps, he stopped at a certain spot. took a shovel out of his storage soul guidance device and began digging. At the same time, Dugu Bo and Dugu Yan gathered around curiously. Under the watchful eyes of the grandfather and granddaughter, Chen soon unearthed a golden yellow sweet potato-like object. The melon was about the size of 2 fists. Although it was dug out of the soil, it didn't have the slightest earthy smell. Instead, it emitted a faint, fresh fragrance. Chen picked up the Earth Dragon Golden Melon and handed it to Dugu Bo. Brother Dugu, this is the Earth Dragon Golden Melon. It can strengthen the consumer's control over the earth element and promote the evolution of snake-type and sub-dragon-type spirits. The only issue now is that your spirit, the Jade Phosphor Snake, has already evolved into the Jade Phosphor Serpent, which is an extremely high-level spirit. A single Earth Dragon Golden Melon might not be enough to cause a fundamental evolution in your Jade Phosphor Serpent. However, it will definitely increase your strength. There are no special instructions for eating it, you can just consume it directly. Dugu Bo reached out and took the Earth Dragon Golden Melon, then this old man won't stand on ceremony. Dugu Bo didn't mind the mud on the melon. He casually wiped it on his robe, lifted it to his mouth, and began to eat. In just a few moments, Dugu Bo had finished the entire Earth Dragon Golden Melon. Instantly, a thick surge of Earth attribute energy swept rapidly through Dugu Bo's body. Dugu Bo felt a jolt of energy and sat down cross-legged on the spot, mobilizing his spirit power to begin refining the medicinal power of the Earth Dragon Golden Melon. We've already crossed halfway to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and enjoying these novel audiobooks. Every subscribe, like, comment, and share helps us grow faster and bring you even more epic stories. If you love revenge stories, Overpowered MC's rebirth and system novels, fantasy adventures, and cultivation worlds, long, immersive audiobook uploads, then subscribe and join the journey to 1K subscribers. We're more than halfway there. Let's hit this milestone together.